Fuck these people. 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 Fuck these people.
Greetings and salutations. Boy, I played the wrong bumper to start with. Can you say demonetized? Welcome. Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome. I had another show planned for tonight, but as is always the case, I always overestimate my ability to finish things in time for certain deadlines, and that is the case tonight. So I was going to be covering Ashton Forbes' crash out. I see Chrysler TV is in the live chat. Maybe I'll ask her to join me for that. And we will do that just as soon as I'm ready to. However, there's a great deal more that I need to gather for that show. So I thought that we would just go right to the good stuff tonight. No, it's probably slop. It depends. Sometimes I think it's slop and the audience loves it. So we're going to be dipping our toes into Super Soldier Talk once again. And for those unaware, there's a channel on YouTube. It's a real thing. You can look it up, called Super Soldier Talk, where all these people that claim they have superpowers get together and talk about their superpowers. Spooky, shut up! You're ruining the slop for everyone, right? I'm here for the fake super soldier, as Chrysler TV. This is my favorite. This is my he is on, and I apologize. I have been thinking about switching back to StreamYard for some time because StreamYard never did this de-resing. But it happens just about once a show now. And nobody can tell me what the problem is at the headquarters of the software, which we pay every month, or why I never had this problem with other streaming software. Yeah, I don't know. And for those that have said, "Oh, it's the router, it's Wi-Fi," I'm plugged directly into the router, hardwired, so it can't be that. David Wilcox sent his weather weapons after me. Yes, that's what it is. So I apologize. And yeah, it's like 100 degrees. There might be a thunderstorm, which means we might lose connection. So if I de-res again and I don't come back within a few minutes, it will be because either the power went off here or the internet went off. It's a pretty janky setup we have here. I never had these problems when I lived in Philadelphia. Okay, so back to Super Soldier Talk. So this guy Ismael Perez is probably my favorite super soldier because he basically claims to have all the powers of Superman and then some, and says that some of his other superpowered soldiers that were on his team even called him the Kryptonian or something like that. It's pretty bizarre. So we're going to put our fair use banner. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public and critiquing the video that we are sharing. So this is fair use. We're educating the public about these fake super soldiers. And yeah, let's just get right into the video. And I'm not sure how much of this we're gonna get through. One second. One moment. Oh yeah. One moment here. Okay, I got it. Pardon me. Here we go. Yeah. So this is a video from a little bit of time ago, but it's one of my favorites. This guy talks about his superhero powers and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm here for it. And I will say this: most of these people who claim to be super soldiers are all big fat slobs. They're balding. They're hugely out of shape. They look like they couldn't run a mile if their life depended on it. This guy's the exception because he does have that like almost superhero physique if you look at him. So he breaks the mold because the usual mold of these guys is that they look like big fat slobs that are so out of shape. Like I said, they couldn't run a mile if their life depended on it. But this guy actually kind of looks the part, but Spooky has seen him in real life, I think at Contact in the Desert, and he's like 4 foot tall or something. Like he's like really short, not 4 foot, maybe 4'11" or 5 foot. That's what I've heard from other people. Yes, he's the Kryptonian. Have some respect for Earth's greatest hero. So we're just going to get right into the video tonight, friends.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Super Soldier Talk. I am James Rink, and we have a very exciting show for you today.
Oh, it's exciting.
We also have a very special guest here. So we have Ismael Perez, and I'm going to go ahead and just read his bio.
Oh, my favorite part of Super Soldier Talk is when this show host, James Rink, he reads these bios with 100% conviction, like no doubt whatsoever that this is real. This is all real information. And also it should be noted that Ismael Perez is one of the guys that came into the scene after people started realizing that Corey Good was telling similar stories and making millions of dollars. Now let's hear his biography by James Rink.
He was recruited as an ultra elite super soldier in the secret space program by an off-world group known as the Central Race.
The Central Race. And so this guy was not just a super soldier, he was an ultra soldier. Like he changed the terminology. And one of his basic claims is that he was like like the, what do they call them in the Marvel universe? Does anybody know? Omega level mutant. Like he claims that he was the top tier of the super soldiers. Like he had the most superpowers and he was the most super of the super soldiers in a separate program called like the Ultra Soldiers. They were even more powerful. They have more superpowers than the regular super soldiers. Sounds good. Yeah.
That comes from the future, aka Wingmakers, according to the ACIO. He then served 60 years in the 5th Corps of Radiant Guardians to fight in the multiverse war against the evil AI.
Okay, so he was fighting an evil AI in the multiverse. And look at him. He's got a straight face. Like this is some serious shit. He really has these superpowers and you're just going to have to believe him. Because one of the common traits of all these super soldiers is number one, they can't show you their superpowers. Some of them come up with weird, like excuses for why they can't show their like their superpowers got deactivated after their super soldier adventures were over. I don't know I can't recall what this guy's excuse is because like I know it might be childish, but the first thing I think when somebody starts telling me they have superpowers is, show me your superpowers, dude. Like I want to see the superpowers, right? Yeah, it's a trust me, bro story. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you remember the show Ultraman? Yes, I do. I liked Ultraman. That was awesome. He turns into a giant dude, right? I got powers. Just trust me, bro. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Duco Duos, Alpha Ralph here, the first person to hear the call of the goal and praise the cash almighty. Do you know somebody was in my comments, Duco Duos, Alpha Ralph, bitching at me for praising the cash and calling me a grifter? Like, get out of my pocket. Don't be in the comments messing with my pocket, bitch. Right? Thank you, Duco Duos, Alpha Ralph, who is a big show supporter and is always here to help us to make sure that we praise the cash properly. So, yeah, praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
It's funny when people don't know my history. Like, we've busted more new age scammers, medbed scammers, psychic scammers, fake healing scammers, mediums talking to people's dead grandmoms for $500 scammers, new age scammers, UFO scammers than virtually anybody on YouTube. Thank you, Duco Duos, Alpha Ralpha. And we'll take a moment before we really get into this and welcome in the Kick Live chat. 1 second. We'll give some shout outs. We have Ultimate TND is there. Diaper Fur 1488 is there. Ethan Ralph Starving Cat. I think that's a Straving Cat, but I think, do they mean Starving Cat? I don't know. Blazing Mad is over there. Scopely CFO is over there. Oh, he was talking about Phil the other day. No one told him to jerk off in front of his stream while setting up after turning it on. Absolutely. Nobody told him. And by the way, Darkside Phil is complaining that his laptop broke and it's only a few years old. So my theory is that he spooged all over it too many times. And when you spooge all over a laptop, you know, that's sticky. I don't even want to get into it. Let's just say that he destroyed his whole laptop with spooge. Okay. And I will be calling out any Kick support from you Kick supporters as well. And I will call out every single super chat and thank every single super chatter. So thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. Let's continue and hear about this Kryptonian super soldier. He's an ultra soldier, not just a super soldier.
The Radiant Guardians work with higher dimensional beings beyond the Galactic Federation. During this time, he helped liberate galaxies in the cosmic sector of Inzra that consists of 100,000 universes. Our local universe is number 84, and our constellation number is 70, and our system, which our planet is located, is number 24.
Oh, he didn't just save Earth, friends. He saved the whole universe, but not just one universe. He went to the multiverse and saved, what did they say, 84 different universes? It's getting thick in here. Come on, dude. Show us your superpowers.
Comprised of 52 local star clusters. Within that cluster, we are known as the planetary body 606. He now serves as a cosmic ambassador representing an intergalactic alliance known as the Covenant of Palador. This is a cosmic treaty that was initiated by the forces of light in the higher dimensions to protect and guard the Earth from the Draco forces and the AI.
Somebody wrote this out. Like, he wrote this out. I saved the multiverse. I saved multiple universes with my superpowers that I can't show them to you, though.
There's a collective known as the Animus that the Guardian Alliance has been battling for over 1 million years, and Ishmael was a warrior in many lifetimes, as recalled from his many past lives.
Archeron,
the majority of starseeds that have volunteered for the call to rescue this planet, including Ishmael, have been selected to come here to help. Ishmael is one of the inner council members who is here to bring forth the next level of cosmic disclosure that will restore our planet back to its original glory and fulfillment of the galactic prophecies. The information that he's going to bring forth has never been heard before on this planet.
Suffer Ismael
and we also
Perez.
Got out.
Oh yeah, this information has been heard before in comic books, science fiction movies, and other stuff that's works of fiction. Review Tech Mongolia is here with $2, saying Super Soldier Serum plus Wilcox P equals this guy. You think he drank Wilcox piss and that's how he got his superpowers? I mean, it could be. But praise the cash. Longtime show supporter, Review Tech Mongolia. Thank you so much.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
All right, let's get back to it. And I heard the interest. I finally got caught up on this Ethan Ralph thing and lazy commentary. And I heard PPP's comments on that, which I agree with 100%. If you're going to do commentary, you got to stop the video. You got to have you got to care about what you're showing your audience, and you have to have some thoughts on it that you articulate. Ethan Ralph was suing some dumb bitch who smoked for more minutes in total than she commented on his video, and then said, like, don't give him views, come here so he doesn't get the views. Dumb. And then she cried when he sued her. Yeah. I didn't know that you could smoke cannabis on Twitch. I didn't know you could smoke cannabis anywhere. Is it true that you can? I don't know, but she was really ripping it up there. Let's get back to it.
Link to your book in the description. Our
Of course, he's selling a book. Of course,
which taps into several of your past lives, as well as true galactic roots of humanity,
he had past lives,
and the origin of the cosmos and the Earth's relationship.
And let's not forget, look at him. How old does he look? 35, 40? Maybe 45? I don't know. He claims that he did a 60-year mission in space. I guess he got age regressed with him in a med bed. I don't know. Who knows? Let's hear his story.
To the multiverse. So, without further ado, thank you for coming on here, Ismael. I appreciate it.
Thank you, James, for having me here.
Right. So, by the way, and thank you, audience members, for joining us as well. We are live, and we will do the best. I'll do my best to get around the censors because I've already got one strike already. So I am.
Yeah. And what did he get a strike for? Medical disinformation, because he was talking about med beds that cure everything, as I recall. Yeah, you can't do that on YouTube, you fucking moron.
Anyways, but I think we're gonna be fine because we're gonna stay on topic to SSP disclosure, which the AI gets confused about.
Xbox game Starfield. Yes. So
let's go here, and maybe we could start with how did this all begin for you? Being a ultra soldier, does that mean that you were created in some kind of laboratory and then inserted into the public, such as in Project Surrogate?
Ultra soldier.
The way my mother described it was that she was actually being abducted the whole time she was pregnant, a few times a month. And she just recalled seeing these beings of light. She called them angels, but she also recognized that they were inside a huge mothership. And
that's something else. When you're going to drag your mother into your scam, I wonder what his mother would think if I contacted her and asked her about her getting abducted by angel beings that impregnated her with this guy. Right? He's like, Jesus, it's like immaculate conception or so. Oh boy, this is going to get good fast, friends. This is the best slop ever.
They were actually using gene splicing in order to delete, add, and modify genetics. Pretty much, they were actually mixing my DNA with all these different celestial races from different universes, and so I was one of 100 individuals that served in Core 5 that actually also
one of 100. Can we talk to your 99 team members? Will they verify your superpower stories and how you saved the multiverse? And it's no coincidence. These guys are so unoriginal. As soon as comic book movies started talking about the multiverse, this guy comes out of nowhere going, I saved the multiverse, right? I think you watch too much MCU, dude.
Taken to be, genetically modified up in a mothership. And the beings that were conducting the operation were known as the Central Race. They do have other names. Some people call them the Azurites, which is a 12-dimensional group of beings that operate within the Rock Confederacy. And the Rock Confederacy is
the Rock Confederacy
is a
Ozzy a
beyond
part of that?
The galactic levels of reality, going beyond the local universe into the cosmic minor sector of Enzra as well. So they come from really high level dimensional realities. And so it all started with these little stories that my mother used to tell me as a kid. I used to think she was just, trying to make me feel different because I was always bullied and picked on, and I never quite fit in. So I used to think she was telling me these stories to make me feel better, to make me feel like I was special. But one day she passed away when I was 16, and and I just remember her telling me 2 days prior.
Well, it's tragic that he lost his mother that young. So I guess we can't call his mom, find out if she really told him these super soldier stories or what.
To her passing away.
That's convenient, right? Cite a dead source. A lot of these grifters cite dead sources, so you can't fact check them.
She was saying, Ishmael, everything that I told you about you being an experiment that's being conducted by beings of light is actually true, and one day you are going to receive your memories. One day you are going to know who you are in your multidimensional
recovered memories. That's another common trope of all these super soldiers. They suddenly remember their superpowered adventures off in space in the multiverse.
Reality and who you were prior to incarnating here on the earth. And when she said that, I started. It actually triggered me, James. It caused me to want to start meditating, and it made me just hungry for knowledge. And then that's when I began investigating things for myself.
Caleb wants what he's
right before
smoking.
that happened, I did experience moments of what they called missing time in my life, where I found myself walking on a particular street, and it's funny because it's always the same street. But this is the thing, James. I didn't know how I got there. I didn't even know what I did prior to walking on that particular street. All I remember was that I just ended up there without any recollection of what I did, to get there. Like, I don't know if I was coming from school, from my house. I don't know where I was coming from.
Whoa.
And so that incident occurred 3 times in my life when I was 16. 18 and 19.
That's
16, 18, 19, about going to be
life.
20, towards my late 19 year, when I was about to be 20 years old. And that's when I noticed that happened 3 times in my life. So that's always been.
I will say this guy is always in the presence. Like, if you go to his YouTube channel, he hangs out with these 2 super hot fit chicks. And I don't know if he's banging both of them, but if he is, God bless him, because they're both very hot.
With me, I've always wondered why that happened to me. Why didn't I have any recollection as to why I ended up just walking on that street without knowing how I got there? And so again, I started going within myself. I started meditating. And that's when I felt like I was being communicated. I was receiving transmissions
we don't need the fair use
from
banner.
other dimensions.
I verbally asserted fair
I felt
use.
a connection to the off-world entities. I felt that there was some sort of intimate connection between me and these off-world entities. So
an intimate connection? Was there butt banging going on, Ismael? Were you getting butt banged by reptile aliens like David Wilcock? What intimate connection?
Then at that point I knew I was different. At that point I knew that I wasn't human. Okay. And
he just said he isn't human. Wouldn't a simple DNA test confirm that you are 100% human? I would think, right? Andrew says, set up a boxing match with me and this super soldier, Steven. Super Scrotum is here. There we go. Hi there, Steven. Super Scrotum. Oh. So he's saying he isn't human. Couldn't you just take a DNA test and prove that claim then? Right? 23andMe is like $50. I'll pay for it.
Eventually I started having memories. Through meditation, James, I started having memories of my past lives in Lyra as a Lyran, I guess high Lyran commander. I also had high memories / warrior. I also had memories of life in Sirius, life in the Pleiadians, and I'm thinking to myself, why am I having these memories of being this great galactic warrior in these galactic wars? And this was.
I think a lot of these people feel like unimportant, insignificant, even invisible. And this makes them feel special, right? Like, from a psychological standpoint, well, like, I'm not human. I'm a super soldier. I saved Earth and all this nonsense.
During a time where people were still watching Star Wars and Star Trek. And to me, I felt like I was going crazy, having these memories of being part of these galactic wars. And so I decided to investigate.
Or maybe he watched too much Star Wars.
Tangible records that actually confirmed any of this information, and I discovered a whole lot of information, due to my hunger for knowledge of this stuff. And it wasn't until I was probably in my early 30s and mid 30s that I started having these strange dreams that I was part of this group of elite super soldiers, and the reason I call it elite was because we had abilities that you would only see in like Marvel movies, DC movies.
Meaning that he's taking his material directly from comic books. He had super abilities that you would only see in DC movies or Marvel movies. I think he watched a few too many superhero movies, and maybe he was smoking something while he. Who knows?
Some of us were able to literally fly like Superman, emit laser beams through our eyes.
That's Superman.
Electromagnetic plasma waves.
That's
through
Havoc
our
from
hands,
Marvel.
like, the X-Men. Capable of controlling weather with our minds.
That's Storm from the X-Men. You stole that one from. Come on, dude. You can't have all those superpowers. He's got Superman's powers and Storm from the X-Men and Havoc from the X-Men.
Capable of
plasma bolts out of his hands. I think that's Havoc. That's Colossus's brother.
Manipulating matter, energy, and time. And
that's Dr. Manhattan, manipulating matter, energy, and time from the Watchmen.
Had a lot to do with us being upgraded, So I started having memories of just kind of like what we see in the video game Halo, where we're strapped into this advanced aircraft and we have the things on and we're wearing these special suits and all the men are built like.
Yeah, I think he played far too much Halo. Right, and maybe he mistook that for his galactic adventures. Battling aliens in space in a super suit. I mean, who knows?
They're genetically just like Captain America looking. Everybody was buff, and all the girls were fit. And I just remember it was, I think it was 50 men and 50 women, a total of 100 of us that were part of the column, or what we call Core 5, serving within, the, I guess what some call the program called Radiant Guardians, and the first person who actually came out and turned.
He is going to cite other grifters as proof of his story. Like, my story must be true. I was part of Radiant Guardian, and you know who else talked about that? The fake super soldier Randy Kramer, who, by the way, claimed that he was battling aliens while he was getting traffic tickets on Earth. Ha ha! A fun researcher found out that Randy Kramer, during the time he claimed he was battling aliens on Mars, actually got traffic tickets in his hometown. Isn't that maybe that's a coincidence? Maybe they sent his clone to Mars, but Randy Kramer is a complete and total scammer who was selling people superpowers for $99 a month. And he was also a guy who ran a medbed scam.
That was Randy Kramer. I believe he was the first one to come out that talked about Radiant Guardians. So before Randy Kramer, I had no clue. I mean, I've heard of Aaron McCollin. I think I've heard of what's his name, the guy that died with the black goo. I forget his name, but he was killed.
Max Spears.
Yes, I've heard of him, and then I've heard Corey Good's testimony, but they only talked about they only talked about Solar Warden, so it wasn't until I heard Randy Kramer's testimony.
Okay, so I heard another grifter's testimony, and then I knew that I was really a real super soldier. Two wackadoos saying similar things is not proof that those similar things are true stories. It just means two wackadoos said similar things. Him basically citing other grifters and scammers. We know Randy Kramer's a scammer. We know Corey Good lied and made up all his stories. Citing those two as proof of your own story is really problematic. It's really not good for this guy's credibility. He thinks it increases his credibility, but it actually, to anybody that's knowledgeable on the history of those two scammers, it's very problematic.
About Radiant Guardians, where it clicked for me, because that's the name that I kept getting in these dreams, Radiant Guardians. And I just remember scenarios where we were taking on this vessel. We would teleport to planet Jupiter, because that's where the main base for Radiant
Maybe they're
Guardians is
allergic
located.
to vaginas,
Again, planet Jupiter also acts as an intergalactic
Only James
many
Rink can
galaxies
bring
are
you
actually
special
coming,
people like this.
sending
Yes.
representatives from different galaxies
Buff
to create
men.
some
Why
sort of
is
an
that
intergalactic
important?
union
Well,
between
he looks like he might like
billions
buff
of galaxies.
men. Who
And that's
knows?
what's happening on planet Jupiter, by the way. So that was our main placed, because they knew about the of the programs that we were engaged in. And so I just remember teleporting to planet Jupiter, and then from planet Jupiter they will
Can you pause a second? Was
sure.
Jupiter
Yeah, even James Rink is like, wait a minute. Did you just say that you teleported to the planet Jupiter? And he's like, yeah, I teleported to the planet Jupiter with my teleportation machine. Come on, dude. How do you teleport to the planet Jupiter? Like, and these claims are so far out there that I think they're just too much. It's just, you gotta dial back to crazy, dude. Dial back to, now you're teleporting to Jupiter. You're saving the multiverse. You got Superman's powers, X-Men's powers. How do you, come on. And Railroad Bum is here and kindly and generously gifted one True Seekers membership, which is why you have to hit that subscribe button, my friends. Because if you're in the live chat when a kind and generous person like Railroad Bum gifts a YouTube membership, you could win one. Like Andrew. Andrew received a free gifted membership by Railroad Bum. So thank you, Railroad Bum, for your kindness, generosity, and support. And of course, for helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
I think this dude has to dial back the crazy. It's like the crazy knob is too far up on this guy.
was that actually solid, or did you go to Jupiter Command? Space station?
I believe that, it was called Jupiter Command, but they also had another name for the city, because I know
James Rank is like, correct. I'm like, did you go to Jupiter Base 7 or Jupiter Command Base? Like James Rank knows about the secret bases on Jupiter. And Jupiter is a gas giant. Why would you teleport to a gas giant planet? There's no surface, right? It's a gas giant planet. Am I wrong? I think it is.
at Mars we have prime Arius, and then there's another one.
Mars.
But I think prime Arius, and then I think
Yeah,
Jupiter is.
New
Thank
Warp
you,
Mars.
Railroad Bum. Big show.
Is that the
supporter.
other city in Mars? Yeah, I didn't know that part because I never went. They never located me to Mars or
Arlene's
dispatched me to
boyfriend
Mars. I always went
plays
straight to Jupiter.
Starfield.
But I do believe that the soldiers
Some
of
of his
Super,
quests are what
the
this
soldiers
fella
of
is
Solar
saying.
Warden did go to Mars.
Yep, they
as
steal
a
from video games
preliminary
for their material.
before going off to their mission. So I do remember going inside Jupiter, and it was like just huge interstellar structures where there were many terrestrial races from representing billions of galaxies.
Okay,
And
that's
I
a
just
problem.
remember
How is there huge bases inside a gas giant planet? Do you know? I think this Ismael Perez is a little bit retarded. Do you know what the surface temperature of Jupiter is? Do you know what the atmospheric pressure of Jupiter is? It is not a place where organic life forms could survive. This is so problematic already. We're only 12 minutes in.
Say that again.
Well, does that mean that the surface of Jupiter is solid?
The surface of Jupiter is inhabited by higher dimensional beings beyond the sixth dimension. But because
well, that explains how they can survive. They're not from our dimension. Okay. All right. He fixed the plot hole.
We're in I guess we were operating from the fourth and fifth dimensional. We were actually inside Jupiter, where the structures are located. Yeah. And I just remember just many representatives of different galaxies cheering us on, saying, okay, giving us their blessing before we went off on the mission, saying, wow, you guys were cultivated for this. Many universes came together to create you guys. You guys are the pinnacle of that, and now here we are, ready to employ you guys on your first, cosmic mission to restore and save many of the galaxies and universes that have been afflicted by this cosmic AI. And it's not just the Animus. I mean, we were fighting different cybernetic intelligences that were different than the Animus. But of course they were working.
The Anubis. Is that like Anubis, the Egyptian god? And he so happens to have some Egyptian sculpture right behind him. I don't think this is a coincidence. Sounds put together. And isn't it funny? Like the big bad AI is the big bad guy. Forget about Thanos. It was the super AI intelligence that they were fighting that was destroying universes. This is Crisis on Infinite Earths. Look it up. It's a comic book plot. They did a whole thing on it on the CW. I think they did a kind of okay job on that, but they didn't have the budget to really do Crisis on Infinite Earths. It was okay.
With the Omnibus, they were actually their minions. We were fighting a group of beings known as the Omicrons, which was like
Omicrons. That's from Transformers, dude. You're stealing from Transformers now. So far, he stole from Superman comic books, Marvel, X-Men comic books, Starfield, the video game, Egyptian history, and now...
a very advanced cybernetic race. There was also
now he's stealing from Transformers. Come on, dude.
a group of beings known as the Borg, and then in some cases, some huge electrical.
He just said there was a group of beings known as the Borg. That's fucking Star Trek, you scammer. You would think he wouldn't pick a well-known race if he was going to steal from Star Trek. He just said there was a race of beings known as the Borg. Dude, did you just smoke up and watch a bunch of comic book movies and Star Trek episodes to come up with this bullshit? Like, this is a mix of popular culture, clearly. Railroad Bum has gifted another Truth Seekers membership, which is, like I said, why you got to hit that subscribe button, because if you're a subscriber, not yet a YouTube channel member, and you're in the live chat, and somebody like Railroad Bum, who's already a Praise the Cash member, gifts a membership, you could win one. Like Shelley Montgomery, who has received a free membership by Railroad Bum. So thank you for your kindness, and praise the cash, bitches. All right, and we've got one true Saxon with one for the goal. All of them count for the goal tonight, my friends. Every single one. So thank you, one true Saxon, and praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
And Charles McDonald, who's a longtime show supporter. Jupiter's gravity is why he's short. Ha ha! It squeezed him down. Charles McDonald, it squeezed him. It squeezed him. Praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
It's the gravity of Jupiter must have squeezed him down and shortened him. He was Superman's height until that happened. Thank you, Charles McDonald. Big show support. And Last Minute Lacey, also a big show supporter. It's the Decepticons in real life. He said Omnicrons, which I think is still in the Transformers. I'm going to look it up while we're playing this wackadoo. If you're just joining us, you're watching Truth Seekers, and we are diving deep tonight into the world of this guy who claims he has all these superpowers, but he can't show us any of the superpowers. So far, he saved multiple universes. He had Superman's powers, Storm from the X-Men, Havoc from the X-Men, and Dr. Midnight from the Watchmen series superpowers, all rolled into one. But thank you, Last Minute Lacey. Praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
Omnicron, that's right. Omnicron was the massive planet, one floating in space. Yeah, that was the huge, like, bad guy robot that transformed into a planet. I remember that. I wanted that toy so bad when I was a kid. There's my DSP moment.
Cybernetic beings that looked like dark clouds, and they were huge. So, and then of course, a lot of the black spiders. The black spiders were actually one of our biggest foes. They were used in many universes to just kind of pop into reality and literally just terraform a planet in days. And so our job was to
fought giant
nuke them with a different type of EMP that we generated through our bodies, being jacked to about 60 to 65% of our genetic power, or genetic material.
He could generate EMPs with his body. This guy does have more superpowers than Superman. Devastator was the best. I wanted that Omnicron robot toy, but my dad was very cheap. And he used to tell me, I'm not paying that much money for a hunk of plastic. Sandra McDonald with one for the goal. How does Rink keep his eyes open? Yeah, I mean, this is some slop, right? But thank you. Sandra McDonald is a big show supporter, longtime show supporter. Thank you for that, Sandra McDonald, and praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
Ha ha! Let's get back to it.
Would you consider these spider beings, were they actual archons, like negative entities that control this AI matrix that we occupy, or are we talking about physical reality like nanobots?
Got to bring the
they're one
AI
and the same
goo and the
because all
nanobots
artificial
in.
intelligence is controlled by archon energy. That's the consciousness that embodies all AI.
Archon energy has nothing to do with AI. But what do I know, Ismael Perez? I'm just a guy that, writes code and has a background in computer science.
So yeah, we were definitely fighting the archon energy through the artificial intelligence.
What are
whether in
these
the form
guys,
of a spider
8-year-olds?
or
I know, it
big,
sounds like
huge, dark electrical
kids
clouds that were conscious,
on a
sentient, but with no
playground.
emotion, of course.
It's so childish.
And other entities.
Look at James Rick, he's eating
And
it
so
up.
I started having
Tell me more about your
dreams of like
superpowers.
flying and stuff, and just like popping into the. Okay, so what would happen is we would
Archon
meet
was a great game.
for
We
a
played that on
preliminary in
Amiga.
Jupiter. Okay,
PSK.
after everybody gave us the blessing, all the representatives from the many galaxies who were actually calling us, they were saying, "You guys are the hope of the multiverse." This and that. We were actually teleported, and how they would do it is they would plug in a what is called a cosmic Stargate number. So how that works is like, the entire multiverse is divided into 7 segments. Each segment is considered a super universe. So our local universe is located within the 7th segment.
This sounds like the movie Stargate. You plug in the coordinates. I think you watched Stargate to come up with this bullshit.
As Orvington, according to these records. And so our job was to secure and restore the cosmic minor sector of Enzra, which occupies over 200,000 organized local universes. So,
he saved 200,000. Now the numbers are getting bigger. I thought in the beginning they said he saved 84 universes. Now he's saved 200,000 universes. Wow, he's important.
So out of those 200,000 organized local universes, about 1/3 were afflicted by this AI. And, many, unfortunately,
yeah, he worked on this
many
super
galaxies were
secret
destroyed in the
project, but
process.
he's
We're
telling
talking about
everybody
hundreds
about
of
it on
thousands of
YouTube,
galaxies
Moody Mongol.
that were destroyed. And so what we would do is we would teleport by plugging in the Stargate, depending on the universe we were going into. So let's just say
I'd
that,
start yelling at him. I would lose
what
my
they would do is they
patience.
would first plug in
grifter.
7, which is the 7th
You
super
don't have
universe, and then they would
superpowers
plug in
unless you can
5
show
because
it
we're
to
part
me,
of the 5th
grifter.
major sector within the 7th super universe, and then plug in 3 because we're part of the
That's
3rd
awesome,
minor
One
sector
True
known as
Scotsman. Glad
Enzra.
to hear it.
And then, of course, they
having
would plug
friends
in
all
the
over the
local
world.
universe. So since we're
Welcome.
universe number 84, they would plug in like universe number 133 or universe number 78 or universe number 13. And just by plugging in these numbers,
dial a universe.
we would open up a portal from Jupiter and directly just access. Within 2 seconds, we would open up the portal and transfer ourselves into these other universes within the minor cosmic sector of Israel within seconds. And I just remember just being like strapped, like almost like we were about to go off into war and stuff, and just flying in these huge motherships and just being strapped. I'm sorry, they weren't motherships. I'm sorry,
they weren't motherships. He has to correct himself. Troll with one for the goal says people actually pay to hear this BS. Yes, they go to conferences and pay to hear people tell these stories.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Thank you, Troll, longtime show supporter. Another lying sack of shit with a bloated sense of importance filled with self-absorbed fantasy for all to see, says Mr. Protractor. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so they weren't motherships. What were they?
They were actually ships that housed about 100 individuals. They were pretty big craft. But the reason I said motherships is because I do remember that in the Jupiter base, there was a lot of motherships that were in the inner structure of Jupiter that were kind of like hovering over the entire intergalactic meetings that were taking place there.
There's always a big problem with these guys who talk about secret spaceships off of, different planets. And that is that in order for that to be true, every astrophysicist, every astronomer, every amateur astronomer with a big telescope on Earth would all have to be in on the cover-up of these motherships all around Jupiter. Even I have a telescope plenty good enough to see Jupiter from my cabin, especially when we're at a high altitude. It's just so ridiculous. Well, okay, so there's all these spaceships all around our solar system, but nobody sees them. Yeah, it's 2025. We say birthing ships. Jupiter is a gas planet, idiot. Yeah, I pointed that out earlier, Tales of the Sonic Voyage, but he said there was thousands of different races there, right? Ismael said Elena Dannon was dead and replaced with a clone. That is the only reason I knew who he was, says Last Minute Lacey. Yes, they were fighting those two. Elena Dannon is another secret space grifter that claims she has an alien boyfriend, but the pictures she shows were from a stock image site of a surfer dude.
And so what we would do is we would pop into these other universes, and then we would locate the certain galaxies and planets that were being mostly afflicted, and we would plug in their Stargate numbers. Each planet and each galaxy, each constellation has a Stargate number, and then we would access those particular realms, and then we would just clean house. And I just remember just coming back and everybody like patting us on the back. Oh, wow, you guys did it again. Thank you so much.
Oh, he's a big hero. Everybody was celebrating.
Now we secured, universe blah blah blah, in the constellation blah blah blah, and so many planets, and you guys did it again. Thank you so much. This was very very crucial. That we were successful in this operation, and so I just remember having dreams like that. So I used to think I was going crazy at first.
This is just so childish and so stupid. And look at James Rink. He's just sitting there eating it up. Like, tell me more about your space adventures, bro.
And then I heard Randy Kramer say Radiant Guardians, and when I heard his interview, I totally it just made me just think, like, what if I was part of the program? What if I was part of Radiant Guardians? With everything that my mother told me about, me having missing time, having these visions and these memories that are slowly coming back. I felt
Anna
like,
Louise
hey,
is thanking the superhero for
is there any way to
lives.
access all my memories? Because from what I understand, James, they do blank slate us, right? That's what they do? Okay. So I figured that's what they did because, I just remember glimpses. I don't really have full recollection of everything in detail. But I believe that the time is coming where we're actually going to access all our information once again.
Yeah,
and be able to write books,
Makes sense.
in detail about
He's
this
a
stuff.
hero in his own head.
Can you describe the portal?
Suffer, fake
The
superhero.
portal, even like when you're traveling through it.
I want to
what
see
it looked
that
like when
too.
it opened up in front of you.
It was very kind of like in the movie
that's
Doctor
nice,
Strange.
I hear I get a lot of people through
just like a
work
circle.
with some laughs. So
they would use a
that.
technology device to open up the circle. The circle will literally just it would just literally just open up. And then, it was maybe about 12 feet in diameter going in circumference wise. And
sounds like Stargate the movie.
And I just remember it was just opened and all of us, like 100 of us, would just go right through it. And then that's how we were able to go to any particular world.
What if I was part
they
of
would just
that
plug in the
imaginary
Stargate number, and we had access to any universe, any planet, any galaxy at will.
James Rink does.
And when you showed up on the other side, were these all oxygen planets? Or were there
well, because we were genetically enhanced to use 60 to 65% of our full genetic material, we were able to operate on planets that were some of them were nitrogen mainly dominated. Some of them were methane.
Whoa,
so we were able to actually coexist, and some of them were actually water
just
worlds where we actually were able to live inside water. So it was kind of interesting. According to my memories, yeah.
Were there any concerns about bringing back viruses or any contamination from?
Yes, Ashton has been deleting tweets.
Yes, there was. Yeah, well, it turns out that a lot of the universes and galaxies that were afflicted by the AI, many of the species were infested with what Corey would call nanites. So that's an issue. So we would go through this like cleansing device. To pretty much clear not only our physical bodies but our etheric bodies as well, because there's such thing as etheric STDs or astral STDs, and so we would go through this cleansing device that would actually just kind of cleanses physically, astrally, and etherically from any nanotech, any type of negative technology.
Did he just say that he had space herpes? He said he had space herpes, and they had a device to clean off the space herpes. He said astral STDs, didn't he? Am I wrong? Did he say he had space herpes?
Any planet, any galaxy at will.
And when you showed up on the other side, were these all oxygen planets, or were there
well, because we're genetically enhanced to use 60 to 65% of our full genetic material.
What does that even mean?
We were able to.
We were genetically enhanced to use 65% of our genetic material. What does that mean?
Operate on planets that were some of them were nitrogen mainly dominated. You know, some of them were methane. So we were able to actually coexist, and some of them were actually water worlds where we actually were able to live inside water.
That's he watched the Aquaman movie. He watched the Aquaman movie to come up with this bullshit.
It was kind of interesting, according to my memories. Yeah.
Were there any concerns about bringing back viruses or any contamination from bacterial,
space herpes,
biological organisms?
Yes, there was. Yeah. Well, it turns out that a lot of the universes and galaxies that were afflicted by the AI, many of the species were infested with what Corey would call nanites. So that's an issue, you know. So we would go through this like cleansing device to pretty much clear not only our physical bodies but our etheric bodies as well, you know, because there's such thing as etheric STDs or astral STDs.
Astral STDs. He had space herpes. He said he had space herpes. Space herpes is in the movie Ice Pirates, I believe. Let me check that. Space herpes. He said he had space herpes. There's a movie named Space Herpes. Ice Pirates from 1984. The ship that they're traveling in the movie Ice Pirates gets infected with space herpes. This guy said that he got cleansed of space herpes, friends. This is some bullshit. Or it's confirmation that space herpes are real.
So we would go through this cleansing device that would actually just kind of cleanses physically, astrally, and etherically from any, you know, nanotech, any type of negative technology.
The ritual of the astral STG.
Well, I mean, the only thing I could comment about that is that apparently, you know, Umbrella Corporation, another alternate reality, was going to other planets, grabbing bacteriological organisms to create the Ouroboros, which is the zombie virus. But that actually G virus came from off world, where it was combined with AI and microorganisms. But
space herpes.
Yeah, it was just
I didn't have space herpes on my bingo card either.
But I guess they have advanced medical healing technology. Or perhaps you said you were in the sixth dimension. So
cosmic collapse
maybe it didn't affect you like it would here in third dimension Earth. But okay.
Well, I mean, we operated all the way up until the, from what I recall, up to the 8th dimension, because you know physicality exists all the way to the 12th dimension. It's just a different type of matter. It's more of a
why fools got space herpes from a Klingon girl.
So let's go into let's just go discuss a difference between Solar Warden, Radiant Guardian, and Radiant Glory. Why don't you give us a little rundown of what you think the three groups are about?
Okay, so Solar Warden is operational within our galaxy and our local universe. We have, I think, over 100 bases throughout the Milky Way.
On Uranus.
And I think, what is it, 900 to 1,000 colonies just within our solar system? And growing by the day.
That one.
So yeah, that's what Solar Warden is doing. You know, Solar Warden was also
you got the clap from the Wolfman.
Developed by the Federation in collaboration with our Navy. And of course the White Hats, in order to counter.
He just said it was part of the Federation. You mean like the Federation from Star Trek? Come on, dude. At least come up with new terms. Don't just take it straight out of Star Trek.
Attack and the Dark Fleets and the Interplanetary Accordium and Labyrinth, who were actually more aligned with the Draco.
He used the word Dark Fleet. Corey Good may sue him.
And so from what I understand is that Solar Warden is not only our interplanetary police force, but is also throughout our galaxy known as the the Galactic police force, you know, because we do have the most advanced genetics in the multiverse. As you know, we are galactic royalty, and this is evidence is confirmed by Alex Collier and other contactees.
Oh, other grifters.
And so what they did is in Solar Warden is they enhanced genetics to about maybe about 10 to 15%, but that was sufficient enough to reclaim the victory against the Draco in our galaxy. And of course, you know, many of those soldiers were sent to Orion because Orion has been a huge hotspot for this galactic war with the Draco. And I think just recently, a lot of our soldiers from Solar Warden just returned, I think, within the last 2 years when they secured the war in Orion. Is that correct, James?
Are we talking about Hammerhead, the maximum security prison, the Draco one?
Maybe he got in the med.
Did they go in there and rescue people?
The space herpes out of his space.
Because that's where they would take on people that are involved in the Orion Wars.
Yeah, I think so. But you are aware, though, right, that we've won the war in Orion already, right?
Oh, that's good news.
I thought it happens in 2023.
Well, I guess it's all times happening at once. I guess in terms of that, yes, it's. But you know, the victory is ours. I mean, we do have the upper hand. I thought it happened in last year in 2021. I thought that's when our super soldiers returned from Orion. But you could be right. You know, it could be 2023.
Johan Fritz was talking a little bit about Hammerhead.
Yeah, that's from
that particular war between Solar Warden, and I guess that's when actually the alliance was. Well, I mean, the alliance, I guess, theoretically exists now, but the schism of Darkfleet breaks off, where a third of Darkfleet breaks away, with in conjunction with Solar Warden over this AI contamination issue with the elite officers.
Exactly.
So is that also what's connected with this war in Orion too? They were also fighting that as well?
Yes, because Orion was actually taken over by AI. I don't know if you recall. You know, and what's been running Orion, even above the Draco, is what they call the Red Queen. And so I believe that that's what we've been fighting pretty much in our galaxy.
Idea from.
Interesting. Yeah, I know the Red Queen has been mentioned before. She is really nasty.
Very nasty. And in fact, a lot of the gray human hybrids that they created here in our planet since the 60s were actually taken to Orion to be part of the Borg hive mind controlled by the Red Queen. And they believe that the only reason they took them there and they took some of our genetics was because sometime in the near future they're planning on sending these hybrids back to the Earth to conquer the Earth. But of course, we're not going to let that happen, right, James?
Grandparents, I don't know.
We're going to be ready for them.
Yeah, well, we're going to need a lot of super soldiers out there. When disclosure takes place, this
Glow in the Dark likes this guy's grip. Go big or go home.
All right, well, let's talk
about the universe from eighth-dimensional space.
So now the difference between Solar Warden, you know, going back to your question, is that Radiant Guardians is actually operational in the multiverse. So it goes beyond our galaxy and our local universe. And that's multi-dimensional. That's everything program. I know. It's just that we've been fighting wars in other universes. You know, as far as like knowing things in detail, I'm yet to get my memories back. I'm hoping soon though, because I really want to write a book about this.
Okay. Well, what I put in my book about Radiant Glory and Radiant Guardian is that, well, first of all, Solar Warden was founded. Well, I'm going to say founded, but the term was created during the era of Reagan, Star Wars, and that whole initiative. But it actually existed prior to that. I don't remember the exact name of the project, but from there, Solar Warden split off into two different groups. Initially, it was Radiant Guardian, where Solar Warden would patrol the area from the sun to the Oort cloud. In the 1990s, Solar Warden was divided in half, where Radiant Guardian patrols the sun to Mars. Mars ring asteroid belt, rather. And Radiant Glory was tasked with patrolling the region from Mars ring to the end of the solar system near the Heliosphere or out towards the Oort cloud.
I can't tell people.
I guess theoretically, so that means Radiant Guardian is really a subdivision of Solar Warden.
I believe so, yes. And then there's even I guess a program, a even more subdivisional program that was used that was actually left off the records. And I believe that there's only about 100 individuals who were part of that program. And the only reason, from what my mother told me, is that the only reason they picked her was because she carried a very high concentration of Rh negative blood type, which is the universal donor. Yeah, I think she was the AB negative. I'm not sure. It's the most rare one out of all the Rh negatives.
Yeah, it's not enough to fight a
All right.
fictional war in
So
in this
we got
universe. He's
okay.
got to
So
fight
at
wars in
that
other
point,
universes.
the task of Radiant Guardian, Radiant Glory, according to the notes that I
You're
wrote
right.
here,
He's
is that
stealing all this from
they're tasked
movies
with
and TV
patrolling the
shows,
areas, making
comic
sure
books, video
different
games.
groups have supplies. They also make sure everybody's getting along. And if we have like a comet or asteroid, they're responsible for taking care of that as well. But you're you're saying that it was primarily the AI is what your main focus was.
Yes.
At least your team. Okay. So let's discuss a little bit about of course, with there is Dark Fleet out there. That would be
Dark
the
Fleet.
more, I guess you could say,
That's
more
Corey
negatively
Goodspeed.
aligned NAZI. Draco. They embed Draco officers on all their ships, at least until the schism takes place.
Exactly.
The officers are required to drink black goo.
Yes, he's
Yes,
creating
they are.
universes.
So what about on Solar Warden? Were any of the officers contaminated with black goo? Do you happen to know?
Black goo.
I don't have any information on that, but I do believe
Black goo is originated from an episode of the X-Files. Look it up. All of these super space grifters love the black goo, the AI black goo. A couple of them weave that black goo, AI black goo, into their origin stories. Like they were shot up with the black goo, and that's what gave them the superpowers. This guy, though, claims he was genetically created and engineered.
according to some testimonies that I heard, that some of the officers or some of the soldiers were contaminated, and they actually had to, get rid of the black goo that was in their body. I've heard rumors, but not that I can confirm, personally. Yeah.
So theoretically, you can't really get rid of black goo. What you have to do is you have to kill the person and then reanimate the body and bring the soul back.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh wow.
According to Peter the Insider.
Get rid of that black goo.
Interesting.
Another person. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to interject that a splinter group of Dark Fleet actually joined the AI in other universes, and now they're building a vast. Okay, so basically, at the highest level of this AI war, we have Omega. Omega is the Dark Lord. I'm just revealing the name of the AI god. Sorry, hopefully that's not too much, but they recruited a good portion of the Dark Fleet to go be part of what is known as the Phantom Matrix multiverse, which they totally different multiverse that was actually developed by the AI himself, where they actually were able to assimilate our version of our organic multiverse.
Matrix multiverse. You mean the Phantom Zone from the Superman series of comic books and movies? The Phantom Zone? Is that what you mean?
And digitally, create their own version, their own personal version of our multiverse, but it's an inorganic one. It's a multiverse that is inhabited by mechanical beings, androids. There is no biological life forms. And so what Omega's been doing at the highest level of reality is that he's been using a Death Star Mechaba in the
sounds impressive, doesn't it?
As a black hole, in other words, to suck up universal life force from the organic living universes in order to power up his Phantom Matrix. So in a way, he's been this AI depends on our energy in order for its Phantom Matrix to continue existing. So that's the only reason why it didn't destroy all the multiverse, is because it feeds off of our energy in order to power its own multiverse, which is full of cybernetic intelligences. So there's going to be one final war, James, in the future, and I think it takes place after 1,000 years. I think after the solar flash takes place, we become upgraded. There's a new age here, and we become reinstated back to the galactic community. Right, first contact takes place. All of that. I think there's about 1,000 years of peace, and then after that, we're going to, there's going to be a final clash against the Dark Fleet and the cybernetic Phantom Matrix multiverse.
Yes, we have the Matrix, Superman,
and that's going to be a huge war involving everybody in our universe, not just the super soldiers, everyone. Of course, we're going to be at the forefront of that, but I do believe we win that war.
And if you've never seen the movie Ice Pirates, I don't know. When I was growing up, they would play that all the time on Saturday afternoon on like VHF channels. I'm showing my age here, or UHF channels. And it has Robert Wagner, and it's really a comedy, but I loved robots growing up. And go look at the robots, and I could show you the robots. The robots in Ice Pirates are amazing. Let me see if I can find a Ice Pirates robots. There's a robot pimp in it. Yeah. They had all these robots in Ice Pirates. Let me share this tab instead. The robots in Ice Pirates were awesome. And I loved robots growing up. And even though it was a comedy, it was still awesome. Look at the robots. And they were just guys in suits, but they were pretty cool. Pretty cool looking robots. And I know somebody that has an Ice Pirates full scale movie prop like this. Like they were basically suits. So he got one of the suits and he put it in a mannequin. Here's the robots. They were awesome robots. Look at that. Anyway, back to our superhero.
Wow. Yeah, someone was actually asking that question. Do we eventually go to war with Darkfleet so that it would...
I hope he brings in Spaceballs too.
Okay, well, we'll deal with that when the time comes. Of course, there's time travel involved, and probably the people from that future timeline are sending their soldiers back in time. Maybe that's you.
That's
I do feel like I'm actually from the future. I just wish I could remember the mission. I'm almost there.
Probably on YouTube, free with ads. It's such an old movie. It's from the early 80s.
Comments.
Comedy,
yeah,
really, but it's
in my
great.
book I mentioned the Omega Project, and that's what they call this whole New World Order agenda. But it's quite enlightening to hear what you said about the AI, because that actually makes sense. Where the wing makers were sending their tranches of technology back in time to be discovered by the ACIO to fight the Animus, and here we are in this whole cycle. But we also got so somebody was asking about the reason why Darkfleet officers would consume black goo. One of the reasons is,
one of the things that I think is so funny is when you listen to these people being interviewed, they never say, I don't know. No matter what question gets asked to them, they have all the answers, right? Can't remember what dangerous missions he was on. Can remember all the political factions. Yes, 80s throwback. Trolly troll with another one for the goal. I used to watch Ultraman on UHF Channel 48 in Philadelphia. Me too. I didn't know you were from Philly. That's interesting. But thank you for your kindness and support of the show. Praise the cash, bitches.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
Oh, this is bigger slop than I remember.
is because out there in the universe, the average IQ of many of these advanced extraterrestrials is around 700 to 800.
Robert Urich.
And of course, IQ has to do with standard deviation.
Right.
That's just
He was
way
a big actor in
off
the
the
80s.
charts. The Darkfleet officers, usually they have technology to enhance your IQ 150 to 200. So with the black goo, they can bring that up to about close to 400, but they're still basically dummies out there. But so there's an incentive to increase your intelligence, increase
John thinks he's
your
from Buck Rogers.
well, I was going to say intuitive abilities, but I would say black would probably shut that down because it takes away your connection from your heart chakra. You're connected to God's source, but you're more intelligent, but you're like a Borg.
That's twice Borg
anyway,
were mentioned.
The other thing I want to mention is Tron. Word has got back to me that there is a parallel universe that is like the movie Tron, where everything is digital AI, but it's positive. Do you think
movies are
possible?
real?
There might be a positive AI universe out there,
No.
And it's controlled by this Lord Metatron. Is that
Lord Metatron?
No.
You mean Megatron?
Yeah, it's actually, it's funny that you mentioned Metatron, because the second name to Omega is Metatron, because Metatron, the original authentic Metatron, is the giver of life. He's the one who, through geometry, sets the actual blueprint for universes to come into existence. Whereas Omega, the reason he calls himself Omega Metatron is because that means the destroyer of life. So while the original Metatron gives life, Omega Metatron destroys it. So it's that cosmic duality with AI.
Destroyer of worlds.
Okay. And so I guess without trying to get another strike on this channel, the Jabiru people were supposed to be going to that negative timeline, and those who
Jabiru
took the
people.
boosteroos, then they're checking out. So, do you have any information on whether or not? Because I believe we're on a positive timeline. Do you think that the Alliance is going to stop that from happening? Release technologies to help these people before this, what do you call it, the solar flash takes place?
That's the goal. That's the plan. You know, from what I
Metatron
understand,
is
according to my
bigger
research,
in
it takes
Jewish
about 3 to 4
mysticism
years
and
for the
angelology.
nanotech in people's body to totally take over their minds or central nervous systems and absolutely just conquer them mentally, or they become, you know, like zombies.
Yeah.
It's a 4-year process. So it's been 2 years since they've administered the medicine, and so I believe that it's in the positive timeline. I believe that the Alliance and the White Hats are going to come in strong, and bring about the disclosure and right in the nick of time, bring forth these healing modalities that's totally going to neutralize the the poison, and also another thing that I believe that could happen that will totally save these people from entering the Phantom Matrix timeline, which they don't want to end up in, is the solar flash, which is going to act as a huge EMP that is not only going to have an effect here on our world, but from what I understand, it's also going to have an effect throughout the multiverse coming from this world. So that's another interesting theory that I've been hearing about. So we'll see how it goes down, James. But I do know that in the positive timeline, the forces of light have won the war. I also know that in the future, the metahumans do win the war against Omega.
The metahumans. That's taken direct. Metahumans is taken directly from DC Comics. In fact, I just saw Superman today, and they mentioned metahumans. Lex Luthor says, I hate all the metahumans, but him the most, about Superman. And by the way, I don't know what all the hate is about that movie, the new Superman movie. I took my 10-year-old son to it, and he was glued to the movie the whole time. And I was kind of thankful for that because the movie theater was more or less empty. But as luck would have it, there's this young couple sitting right next to me, and my son was over here. And the young couple started like making out, like they were going at it. And my son didn't even notice. He was too busy watching this Superman movie. And as far as the movie, I thought it was very well done. There's things that I think could have been better, but I was just thankful that they did not make us retread the Superman origin story again. And I think that movie's better than The Man of Steel. The Man of Steel, I did not like because to me, it seemed like The Man of Steel, they took Christopher Reeve's Superman 1 and 2 and tried to jam both stories together. And it was too much. And there was too many explosions and too big. I didn't really like it. This one I thought was very well done. I'm hopeful that it's good enough that they have a solid foothold now and they can expand that cinematic universe, right? But anyway, in the movie Superman, which I just saw earlier this morning, they mentioned metahumans. And here this guy is literally using comic book terms. Metahuman is a DC comic book term meaning superhuman.
And the Dark Fleet and, the entire cybernetic collective, and it's now all coming into play here in the present. It's all coming, it's trickling down here in the present.
Fun. It was a fun movie.
This might tie into this question. Maybe it doesn't.
Rather watch the Wacky World of
SSP personnel will get their memories back around 2026 to 2027. What do you think might happen around that period of time?
Yeah, Ismael says he could
hopefully
shoot
by
laser
no later
beams.
than 2028 we could have
That's a
this.
good point. This guy basically says he could shoot laser beams out of his eyes like Superman. Can he show us?
And solar flash. That's my hope because, how much longer can humanity take, the abuse?
So you don't ever expect, I don't know, a website being set up of all our files put on there, and then we could log on and find out, oh, I was in the SSP after. I didn't. I guess
Yeah, I think that in the positive timeline when disclosure takes place,
Well,
all that stuff
disclosure.
will be
You have that
restored
on
to
your
us.
bingo card. You win.
But I think that we're also going to be getting memories. Our memories
2028.
are going to be coming back to us, James,
Giving himself more time to
along
make
with those files, of course.
Yes.
Those files are just going to be there to back it up.
All right, and this is where I have this question: full public disclosure. Do you think the government will come out and finally say, "Oh, by the way, we have a secret space"?
There's nothing to disclose.
We're heading there. We're heading
I
there.
remember not.
Yeah,
I
Paul
remember
Hellyer,
not.
the Prime Minister of Space Defense of Canada, already came forward.
Grifters grift
Is
cash
it
money.
the Israeli ex-space head of
How
command?
much longer
What's his
can
name?
the audience take the
Ashayin
abuse?
Mashmed or
Yes.
something. He came forward, I think, 2 years ago. So it's prepping there. So
We're all going to get disclosure soon.
it's getting there.
It's a grifter mantra.
Okay, well, so I think you mentioned this off camera. How many 20-year back
There's going to be a
missions?
Blade Runner series?
I believe 3.
Hell yeah.
Yes,
I
because
love
there's
Blade Runner.
3 instances in my life where I felt missing time, and I believe that had a lot to do with this. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's gonna
typically
be a new
right
Tron
after they
movie, too.
return
I'm
you
excited about
on
that. I
a
like
20-year and back, you would be extremely exhausted for about 3 days. And I noticed one time I just had dinner,
Mass Arrest
and
coming
then next
soon.
thing I know, I felt like I haven't eaten in 3 weeks, and I was so exhausted for the next couple of days. So, yeah, so
Oh,
that
you're
might be
welcome, Tales of the Sonic
a
Voyage.
sign that you might have been involved in this. Do you have?
By the way, do you have a
anything you
music
might wanna
video?
comment on that?
Like a really good music
you
video.
noticed after
Email it
you
to me.
returned?
I need stuff for the circus
Just
show.
that I didn't remember anything. It's almost
Email
like
me
I
some
had no
links.
recollection
Tales of the Sonic
of
Voyage.
how I ended up there. That's all I remember. But I do, and now that you bring it up, I do remember feeling very lethargic at the same time for a couple
Needs a
days.
med mattress.
I do remember that.
Yeah, they
Now that you bring it
reinforce
up.
each other's.
Do you have
delusions.
information on the process of actually how they blank slate you?
I have no recollection. But I
Unfortunately,
believe that this is
Wow.
a technology that was developed by the ACIO.
Imagine that. He has amnesia about how they give you the amnesia. For those unaware, the term blank slating is what a lot of these people claim. You go away on your secret space mission, and when you're done, they blank slate you. So they wipe all of your memories, which may be taken from that Men in Black series. You know, they flash that wand at you and you forget shit. Yeah. So unoriginal, these people. Just totally unoriginal.
In collaboration with the Accordium. So I don't know if that was for nefarious reasons, because the original purpose of developing blank slate technology was to blank slate the Animus upon their revival, not to use it upon humans. But I do believe that they used it on humans, especially those that served within the
Now
program.
that you mention it, I did have some blah, blah, blah.
How they used it, I don't know, but it
funny.
works.
They reinforce each other's
Obviously.
delusions.
yeah. Well, I noticed a lot of SSP experiencers. That's of course blank slating is. They're not going to necessarily remember the blank slating because everything else has been wiped. That's like the last thing you remember is. But typically,
They have a
people that do
blackout
recall
from
it
booze
under
or drugs.
regression. They're put into some kind of bed or a tank. They're required to sit still for up to seven days. I think it's
yeah, even though
your
I have
age drops
amnesia
back
now,
10
now
years
that you
for every
mention
week
it, I
you're
did
in
have
there.
some.
So if you were
Yes.
20 years, you might be in there for 2 weeks. Other times they might have a clone body.
Oh,
So they would
clone
put you into
body.
stasis and send you off world. And then at the end of your service, the clone would be expired and send you back. That would be the case, like, because I think you said you were in enhanced bodies at that, like avatars. Do you recall being cloned out, being put into tanks and going?
No, I don't remember any of that. And from what my mother said, she says that that
His dead mother.
my I guess the way they made me was where they didn't have to clone me. Oh no, she said I was unclonable. That's what she told me. She goes, they never cloned you. They couldn't clone you because of the types of genetics or DNAs that they gave you.
And by the way, it would be so simple for him to take a simple genetic test. Like all these people who claim that they have basically this guy claims that he has all this alien DNA in his body. Well, wouldn't like a geneticist be able to look at his DNA and say, your DNA is completely normal human DNA. I would think so, right? Wouldn't there be some sort of genetic markers or part of his genetic makeup that was, for lack of a better term, alien? You know, it's one of those things. Oh, Lou Elizondo is here. Lou Elizondo, you dwarf. What are you doing in my live chat, Lou Elizondo? Go away. And don't sue me, bro. Don't sue me, but go away. Steven would batter these wankers in a boxing ring. Yeah, I would. I challenged one of them, Randy Kramer, and I offered him $10,000 to get in a boxing ring with me and show everybody his superpowers. But wouldn't you know it, he made excuses and wouldn't do it. I was going to pay for the ring, the boxing gloves, the referee, the venue, and give him $10,000 if he beat me in a boxing match. He would not do it. What does that tell you about these super soldiers? And by the way, I'm not a great fighter. Like, I don't have a great deal of boxing training. I took karate when I was younger, and I boxed a little bit at a local boxing ring. We had like a local boxing gym, but I'm no, my whole thing with that was like, if he can't beat like a normal slob like me that's not a professional fighter, or I was going to hire a professional fighter to beat the living shit out of Randy Kramer. I thought that would be so funny, right? We may still do that. Maybe we'll find somebody and challenge him, because technically, because of my disability and my medical history, I have a brain aneurysm and I have a coiling procedure. So it's really not recommended for me to take shots to my head,
Possible to clone this type of genetic material. That's what she used to tell me. So I don't know how they did it. I think they used a very highly advanced technology where they would actually just put you in a chamber.
Lacey, I think my wife would have a problem with
regenerate
another
your body
woman
back
beating
to
me.
what you were before
That's
they
her
took
job.
you,
I'm sure
which
she would
was
say that's her job.
better way than just
Lacey,
cloning you.
thanks for the offer.
Because then, cloning you, it inquires
I'm not
extrapolating
very
consciousness
submissive.
from one
I never
avatar
like that,
to the
right?
next, and that's just lower.
Boy, we just went off on a tangent. There's some men that like that dominant woman and they like to be beat. I had a friend, man. He liked women to beat him, and I mean beat him, and all that weird S&M shit. Like pouring the candle wax on him and shit. He was a freak. But that's a tangent for another time.
Technology.
Well, but on the other hand, if you went on a mission and you died and they needed to reanimate you somehow, they would want to have cloning material.
A clone, yeah.
Back. And some people actually didn't come back. They might have been purposely killed, airlocked. They were, but they just went crazy.
Oh, they just shot him out the airlock.
Sent
Wow.
back. They send the
Like
clone back that doesn't have the
movie.
soul, and it quickly dies. It deteriorates. There are cases like that, but I'm glad.
But in my case, because I was, I guess enhanced to 60 to 65%.
Save that for the Twitch only. Yeah,
material,
you're right. Yeah,
my body was made indestructible.
For those that serve,
joking, in my group.
Well, now I'm
all
disappointed.
made indestructible.
Yeah, tell us more about how they enhance your abilities. So, like,
well, we all had a nickname. They used to call me the Kryptonian. Everybody had a nickname, just like you had a nickname.
They called him the Kryptonian because he looked like Superman and he had Superman-like powers. This man just said that his fellow super soldiers nicknamed him the Kryptonian, right? Inner City Pigeon says, I got here just in time. We're black goo and boost a ruse. Great. What science fiction is he not using at this point? I know, it's such a mismatch, right? When is it appropriate to thank a super soldier, now or in the future? Not me, mate. A man should be a man. You're in America. I'm in England. My girl is Irish. I'm scared of her. I'm scared of my wife. Any woman that can make me homeless scares me. Well, technically, I guess I wouldn't be homeless. I mean, if anything ever happened between us, I probably could live at the cabin. I don't know that she would want the father of her children to be completely, living in a box homeless. You never know.
So because we were using adamantine particles, which is very advanced crystalline genetic structure, our bodies were
Wait a minute.
very, very
He said he was using adamantium particles. Do you know what adamantium is? Adamantium is the metal that Wolverine's claws are made out of. I'm going to say that again. Adamantium is the metal that Wolverine's skeleton and claws were made out of. Remember Wolverine Origins? That's one of those things. My wife is sending me that story of the paranormal investigator who was on the tour with the haunted dolls and just suddenly croaked. And I told her we may run a story on that. But anyway, he just said that his body was infused with adamantium particles. Do you mean like Wolverine, you scumbag liar grifter who made just mined comic books for his story? He just said that his body had adamantium particles in it. That's fictional metal from the Marvel Universe, dude.
to the point where they were equivalent to vibranium. You know, a bomb can destroy it. No,
Vibranium. That's the metal that Captain America's shield came from. That's from Wakanda. And Black Panther's suit is made out of it as well. He's just straight stealing stuff from comic books. Like, who believes this guy? This is so stupid.
no laser, no weapon out there could destroy the type of your physicality at that level of percentage. It's totally indestructible, and I do remember that. So yeah, you know, we all had a nickname and stuff. So I was the Kryptonian, you know, and everybody else had a different name. So they gave us these. I guess they adopted the nicknames from the comics, you know. But again, you know, there's a lot of truth to those comics, James. When you consider that the people who actually wrote DC and Marvel were actually insiders back in the 50s, and they were, you know, part of these
now the people who wrote the comic
meetings.
books were secret space insiders. Come on.
Yeah, I was trying to look up. What was the name of the material that
guys drew their own
pre
superhero comics?
Oh, the adamantium particles.
Pre is comes from the rings of Saturn. And it's a metal
particles.
that's
come on.
Your
dude,
body
that's
treats
Marvel.
it like gold, but it's harder than diamonds.
Yeah,
and it's also got chameleon
bizarre.
class technology capabilities.
He was in Weapon X.
They would replace the bones of pre-metal and then clone tissue over it.
Super advanced aliens don't have their own culture. They all read comics
theoretically
Earth.
Exactly. I don't. Maybe they would have to, but they probably would have had. You said they did. They didn't modify you
to court for using their terms. That would be
because they didn't want you to interface with AI. They wanted you to be a crystal. I guess upgrade your DNA to be more a crystalline being.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I do remember operating in multiple dimensions. Like I was able to master and control gravity and everything.
Wow.
Time, you know, I was able to manipulate reality at will at 60 to 65%. Kind of like in the movie Lucy with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, now he's stealing.
It was literally like that for us.
And do you think these abilities might cross over into your civilian life eventually? Come back.
I sure hope so. I'm working on that.
They would have had looking glass technology, I assume, where they could look into the future.
Looking glass technology is bullshit, and we know that because it came from Bob Lazar. He was the first person to mention the looking glass technology, where they could see into the past with this special device. And Bob Lazar was a fake scientist pimp. So it's interesting to me how these people just accept this established mythology as facts. Like, well, they had looking glass technology because a convicted pimp fake scientist said we had looking glass. It's fake, Rink, you dumbass.
Of it and see the potential reality of what might happen. Was that ever a concern to them that suddenly their super soldiers assets became fully aware?
Well, because of the purpose and mission that we served, we actually
Tech Mongolia takes dumps in multiple
very highly security. We're very well protected, I was told. You know, our protection not just comes from, you know, the Pleiadians and the Federation, right? Our protection comes from beings beyond them. And so because we're that important to the cosmos and because of what we did for the cosmos, they're actually securing us so that when the time comes, you know, when the time comes for our dormant DNA to come online.
That's a very good point. Like for example, if you can manipulate space, time, and reality, does that mean that you could do things like cure cancer? Like, if you had these kind of superpowers, why wouldn't you spend some time at like a children's cancer ward and save all those poor dying children from a horrible disease? No, you didn't do that. Instead, you went on YouTube to promote a book you're selling about your space adventures, your secret space adventures. But you'll tell everybody about those secret space adventures for $29.95. Just buy the book. And yeah, you can buy the book, but not from me.
These abilities are going to come right back, which is going to be cool because I was told that I was also going to be used in the last war against AI. That's going to take place in about 1,000 years.
Okay,
so obviously I'm not
going
going
to 3 inches. I think I
you
know
neither,
what.
by the way. We're going to live forever.
If he's going to lie, at least he can make it entertaining.
So let's go into maybe you can. I wanted to go into a little bit earlier. An ultra soldier. How would you define an ultra soldier of the Radiant Guardian variety?
The ultra soldiers are the ones that are the most advanced.
Yeah, so this guy had to up the ante on these people claiming to be super soldiers and create a new, like, elite class of super soldier. And he used the term ultra soldiers, which is kind of funny because, again, calling back to the Superman movie, Ultraman was the bad guy, one of them. Super, ultra. I mean, it's not very creative, but he claims that his super soldiers team was the elite, the very best of the best with the most superpowers.
You know, there were the ones that were enhanced to over 60%. I think 60 to 65%. That's what makes an ultra soldier from a regular super soldier. A super soldier, I think the most they've ever enhanced a super soldier is up to like 25 to 30%. And that allowed them to have, telekinesis, psychic powers, precogs, straight out telepaths where they could just read and sense things, capable of observing data and information, where they could walk into a room and tell you exactly what every person is doing, all hundreds of them.
Somebody on Twitter said, super wackadoo
which is
weirdo.
a type of perception that allows you to capture everything like in pictures. So I do know that there was different levels of upgrades, and each which gave us a different categories from regular super soldiers to elite super soldiers to ultra super soldiers.
Okay, so there's 3 tiers of people with superpowers, and he was at the highest level. Imagine that.
So that's the spectrum.
And how would the Radiant Guardian ultra soldiers compare to, say, some of the ultra soldiers? I guess they would have had Leak-Sadot over a Dark Fleet. I mean, there would be different types.
Oh,
well, the Dark Fleet developed their own versions of ultra soldiers, human 3.0s by mixing.
Not human 2.0.
So some of the members of the Dark Fleet became extremely powerful, but again, they merged with the tech, and so they're now like cyborgs, but they're extremely powerful because not only are using human genetics at like 60 to 65%, but they're also dealing with AI genetics as well, or AI, whatever you want to call it, digital cybernetic information.
Yeah, it almost sounds like they're a whole new life form already.
They are, and they're actually causing an issue for the living cosmos. So, like I said, that's going to be one last battle that we're going to have to.
One last battle. We're going to have to still do one last battle. I've heard this James Rink interview so many people that all claim they have superpowers. I've never once heard him ask them, can you display or demonstrate your superpowers? Like, wouldn't the first thing that you ask when somebody tells you that they have superpowers would be to say, show me your superpowers? I don't get it. Yes, Sandra says, I see a lawsuit coming for him from Corey Good for stolen IP. Suffer, intellectual property.
Okay, and I guess the other comment I wanted to make about the Leak-Sadot are super soldiers that were created by the Germans, and they took DNA from the original Atlantean race.
To this.
Mm-hmm.
that can live up to 120,000 years, and they can create these hybrids. In the
Notice how he just says things as statements of facts without any evidence to support them being facts. Well, the Nazi super soldier program, they took Atlantean DNA and they can live for 220,000 years. Like, where are you getting this shit from? Your asshole? Like, you just pulling this out of your asshole? Like, where does this come from?
these clone rats, it takes about 20 days to grow a clone.
Look, he knows all the specifics. It takes 20 days to grow a human clone. Show us.
Up to full age, and they just stop aging. They don't age at all. Well, I mean, I guess it takes 120,000 years, but I mean, they practically don't age. That would be, I guess, is that the destiny of humanity to have our blueprint DNA returned back to the way it was?
I don't
Absolutely.
know, Inner City Pigeon. I think they
Yeah,
believe
absolutely.
it.
Because in our original makeup, when we were first developed, we were developed as the most hybridized race in the multiverse, using 12 strands of DNA. We were, designed to achieve levels of power that no other species out there could achieve.
Yes.
And so that's why we became like the most.
Yeah.
I guess,
Why is he
coveted
allowed
race
to
in the
breach
multiverse.
security protocols
Our
and hand
genetics
out all
is
this info?
priceless.
Yeah.
So this is a
big
comment
plot
from
hole.
Allison. Yeah. So something right out of Star Trek and Star Wars. I would comment and further and say neither of those two are getting it right. Star Wars, they don't show the cloning and the re-aging tech. Star Wars doesn't do it. I'm sorry, Star Trek.
Like
Actually, both of them don't
Dragons,
do it.
folks.
They don't show you the extent of the medical healing technology that the real reality is much more.
No,
advanced.
he only reads kind.
I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was left out in those
questions.
movies. However, those movies are also very educational as far as them being more documentaries.
It is
and just
admirable
sci-fi.
how long they can spew their nonsense.
A lot of hidden
right?
knowledge in those movies.
Yes.
This came up in the chat.
Utterly
Is
shameless.
there a
Zartron.
FedEx in outer space? Do they deliver in outer space?
It's no, it doesn't happen that way in outer space.
Okay, somebody should send a memo. Done. Okay, so let's go on to the next question here. Okay, so let's see here. How about this? Do you have any information about any treaties between the ICC, which interplanetary corporate conglomerate, or Dark Fleet with the Alliance? Are they running the show?
No, they're completely separated. The Alliance is totally opposite to the agenda of the Dark Fleet and the interplanetary corporate conglomerate.
The Alliance.
However, there was
talking about David Wilcock's Alliance. That must
actually,
be real.
Did form a treaty with the Dark Fleet and the interplanetary conglomerate, but they're going to be dealt with very soon. They're going to be dealt with. But it was just a small percentage of traitors.
Oh, they're going to be dealt with.
Yeah, this actually, I wanted to tie that question to the Star Trek question, because in our future is Star Trek, but way more advanced. And the name that I actually got was at least a possibility of High Fleet Command or Starfleet Command.
He came in when he realized.
Do you have any information about what the secret space program? Well, I guess it won't be secret in the future. Might look like.
Yes, from what I understand is that Space Force.
Yeah, they haven't mentioned the Orion Council
and Solar Warden are going to merge, and they're going to be called. I think they're going to be called. Not Star. Yeah, I do understand. They gave me the symbol, which is like it's kind of like that, but with a circle around it, and it's like blue with yellow. It's like a yellow circle with blue around it, and like a yellow cross representing the four quadrants of the universe, and how the Earth is going to now be the new guardian. At the center of the entire universe, which is awesome.
Mix in some new age.
I can't remember the name of it, but yes, I do see a merging coming with Space Force leading the way, and then of course, bringing forth the technology that's been used with Solar Warden and stuff. And of course, taking us into a Star Trek reality where we're going to the human race on this planet is going to actually be scattered all throughout the galaxy, which is awesome.
They're the massive.
That's going to solve the population issue, of course.
Stephen. Whoa, buddy!
And also, they'll start building. There'll be
not only saved Earth,
Ray
Gunner, he saved whole galaxies.
You can build a house on it, and you can build a city on it, and then the flying platforms can go out in outer space, and then and then planet Earth will be kept as a nature preserve on the surface. Okay, so let's go to how about this? Some of the technology that you've encountered off world.
Oh, now we're going
Can you
to
tell us
med
what is it
beds.
like
I
out
bet
there?
you he's going to talk
A
about
lot
med
of the
beds.
technology that I've encountered was living. It was like a biosubstance that was alive, where the intelligences were actually in a symbiotic way, were
Oh, they're
consciously
totally
infusing
symbiotic
themselves
and
with
conscious.
the
Yes.
crystals or the stones or whatever it is that they were using to they were using them as tech. It was living technology. So including their spacecraft, a lot of the spacecraft are actually telepathically in communion with the
This is
person that was
UFO
piloting them.
technology.
And so
You
it was
fly the
amazing
ship
how
with
they
your
were able
mind.
to communicate as if the spacecraft was an extension of their consciousness. It was beautiful. Some of this tech is just beyond our comprehension.
So Darkfleet got their technology primarily by attacking innocent aliens and stealing their tech. There was also trades with the MMF, the Merchant Marine Fleet, where
Yeah,
they would
this
go
is
around, kidnap humans on planets.
now Rink is stealing from Star Trek Voyager's plot lines. Remember the Volm? There was a race of aliens in the Delta Quadrant named the Volm, and they would go and attack other ships and steal their technology. They kept attacking Voyager, trying to get transporter technology and replicator technology. So Rink is just stealing plot lines right from established science fiction.
Or trade them to aliens with their own cybernetic units and regen tanks so they live forever, and replicator defeat them, and they trade them off as slaves in exchange for technology. So that's how Darkfleet became so advanced so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So Warden, I'm assuming, would, in order to, because there is this, there's still like this issue between, because you got the Nazis down in Antarctica who are controlling Darkfleet, and now you got the Americans running the Solar Warden program, and there's still like a conflict going on here. But how did Solar Warden get all their advanced technology? Did they make a deal with the positive ETs like the Galactic Federation, and they just handed it over without trade?
This guy has answers for everything.
DNA
Never
is
stumped.
trade,
That's one of their
currency of the
common
universe.
traits, right?
Exactly, especially our DNA. They've been selling our DNA throughout the galactic slave trade for actually centuries. They just, we're just now catching on to that. But yeah, they've been abducting us for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah,
but
how does Solar Warden acquire their technology so quickly?
By the Federation, because what happened was, okay, from what I understand, is that the Federation first secured the Galactic Wars when they first won the battle in Orion 15,000 years ago. But then what happened was a group of the Draco Empire traveled into the future in order to recruit members of our race to genetically enhance them and, of course, mix them with the cyborg or with the AI to become cyborgs to go back.
I don't know. Do we want to keep going? Are we going to go to the end? There's 24 more minutes of this. Whoa.
Back in time and re-win the.
I think last week's Wackadoo was better. Do I want to wage quit this Wackadoo like Darkside Phil wage quits video games, right? No, we're gonna make it through, right? Steven, bring out the wood. What? Good story though. I don't know about that. I think this is a mishmash of comic books, movies, video games. Sounds like Halo, Mass Effect, right?
War against the Federation.
Marvel comic books, DC comic books, superhero movies, science fiction movies, Star Trek, Star Wars. It's just like they put everything in a blender and just regurgitate it.
And then so that's when the Federation also traveled back in time, popped into our reality in the 1950s, developed Solar Warden to counter effect that. And so a lot of this has to do with time travel. So definitely Solar Warden developed or received the technology by the Federation and the good benevolent forces to counteract what Darkfleet was doing with the Draco.
All right. Okay. So let's go into Accordium and the Labyrinth group. So is this connected? Is this the group that actually is traveling back in time, giving technology?
I do believe that, yes, the Accordium is a group that has been using a lot of time travel to give us the technology. So I think that they're the ones that are.
Did he say the accordion? Like accordion, but without the A? The accordion. What?
Actually, the depository of intergalactic records And some of them are related to a lot of rogue extraterrestrials, especially from like
Rogue? What is a rogue extraterrestrial? Is that like a woke extraterrestrial, but different? Rogue extraterrestrial.
like the Ebens and stuff.
Ebens. These people are so unoriginal. They're just using terms straight out of UFO mythology, like the EBE, extraterrestrial biological entity, or EBINS is another term used in UFO mythology in many, many stories.
like the Naboo, and those that are involved with the
Naboo? Naboo is a planet from Star Wars. Now he's stealing from Star Wars. This guy is starting to piss me off. Like, come up with something original, dude. So far, nothing original. Nothing.
hybridization programs involving human genetics and Zetas and Grays. So the Accordium is definitely not good. It's very, very
Oh, that
malicious.
sounds like a pretty interesting superpower. You belong in Suicide Squad.
All right.
With
But Labyrinth. So okay,
that
this is
are
what I
very
wrote
good.
in my book here. Labyrinth Group are a group within the
Suppository
Alien
of
Contact Intelligence
technologies.
Organization that communicate
You
with
always
different
gotta
extraterrestrial
mention
groups,
ass
including
play.
Numbers Group,
There's always
Council of
ass
5,
play.
and Accordium. They are tasked with helping maintain intergalactic security for these groups.
Yes.
Numbers groups has actually no agenda because each group has their own different agenda. They act like an overseeing intergalactic council, like the UN
Did he
on planet
bang
Earth.
Queen Amidala?
The Council of 5 guard this region of space to which
got
our solar
banged
system
by
also
Jar Jar.
belongs.
Yes.
And there's the number
It's
the Council of
weird
5
word salad
represent
for sure, yeah.
Orella, Irigote, Genevas, Redons, and
He
Murthers.
definitely goes.
And then
to
I wrote
gym
the
with that.
information about the Accordium is very secretive available at this time.
Very secret. Yeah, that's why they have the Labyrinth Group, because only members of the Labyrinth Group have access to the Accordium. Even people that are
Labyrinth Group?
because it's very
Where is that?
compartmentalized. Even people that are below the Labyrinth Group, like those that are
He
elite.
says all these terms like we're supposed to know what the Labyrinth Group is or the Cordians are. Like he's got to explain it better.
Scientists within the ACIO have no clue of what's really happening. All they know is that they inherited this advanced technology, and all they have to do is take orders from the Labyrinth Group because those are their masters. But in turn, the Labyrinth Group is taking orders from the Accordium, which is unfortunate.
Are you
Labyrinth.
familiar with the Republic
That
of
was a great
ACIO?
Labyrinth.
No, I'm not familiar with them. Actually, it's the first time I've heard it.
Well, looking into the origins of the ACIO through remote viewing, we see that they come from another
Oh, he gets his
universe.
information from remote
And
viewing. In other words, he
from that
imagines this shit.
timeline. They call themselves the Republic of the ACIO. But
The Republic.
yeah, the head of the ACIO appears to be some kind of
Somebody's
AI
been watching Star
infected
Wars
entity,
too much.
and it's not necessarily positive, which makes it almost feels like the ACIO is
Anybody past this
more
by
neutral
Captain
here in
Lauren
this
Prince-
timeline, but maybe it's becoming more positive.
He's nuts.
I don't know, but
Nothing
from your
is sacred,
perspective, it would
guy.
be positive because the wing makers are. The ACO is working to extract that
Making it
technology
up on
and
the
to help
fly.
humanity. So, anyway, all right. Well, let's move on to another question here. So why don't you tell us what do you think will happen at SSP disclosure or a first contact like event? What do you think it would be like?
I think many ships are going to appear worldwide, especially over huge cities, motherships. And I also believe that the Alliance is going to
The Alliance
broadcast through the airwaves what's happening, getting humanity ready for first contact. And I also believe that the Mr. T and
last minute,
JFK,
any of this
the son
means
that
anything.
faked his death, are going to be with Commander Valiant Thor, who is the representative of the Venetian Council, who's actually working with the Alliance and the Federation.
Okay, so now he mentions Valiant Thor, which is established UFO mythology that was invented by Frank Stranges, who was a grifter. So now you're just repeating old grifter stories.
A liaison is going to make some announcements, and that's what I've been told, that it's gonna be like mass sightings. The cabal's going to be
You are
exposed.
correct. He
This
does
is after
lives
the
and receives
EBS,
super
after
chats
they
for his
initiate the new
deluded
programs
world.
that is
only
going
thing
to
super
bring
about
wealth
him is
back to the
receiving
people.
super chats.
Then they're going
I
to
think
prepare
his
people for
brain
first contact.
went-
And I do believe that Commander Valiant
He
Thor
used to drink too
will be
much.
at the White House
Could be.
streaming with Mr. T and JFK Jr.
Oh, wow. He's
And at that
mixed in
point,
some
will he
Q-tard
be the
stuff.
president of the world? They'll disband the United States and create like a whole planetary governance.
No, it's going to be.
One world government
The
run
current
by Donald
structure is going
Trump.
to
Imagine
shift into
that.
one of interplanetary structure comprised of 22 different federated regions. Yes, so he's going to be in charge
Oh
of the
no, not
American
Valiant
Federated region, but
Thor.
there's going to be 22 others. And in turn, these
I
22
laid it bad
federated
in
regions
Southern
are going to
Wackadoo.
be under a new world council or new world structure. And at the head of the new world structure are going to be pretty much us, the star seeds. And so that's what I was told.
Oh,
We're going to be
the
in charge of
Wackadoos are going to
New
run the
Earth.
world government. You just said the
Apparently,
Wackadoos are going to run the one world
I
government.
guess it was under Duns and Bradstreet. Australia was a sub corporation of the
Mr. T.
Federal American Empire. Does that mean Australia is going to be part of that federated United States? Are they going to be in the same federated region?
Trump.
Yes, I actually given a description of the 22.
I meant, I'm still going to clip this because I got a Mr. T mask, and I can make a Valiant Thor mask. I was going to clip him saying that Valiant Thor is going to stream Mr. T and JFK Jr. I was going to make a video of that, Al Garay. Can you catch schizophrenia from Wilcock P? Asks Review Tech Mongolia. And that's the first super chat in a while. So thank you very much for your kindness, generosity, and support. Big show support tonight from Review Tech Mongolia and many of you. Thank you for your kindness.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Super Soldier reporting for Mars. Thank you, Review Tech. And Patriot Blubber says Super Soldier reporting for Mars duty. A likely story.
Federated regions and the conglomeration of countries that are going to consolidate into different regions. In my book, Our Cosmic Origin, I do reveal what the New World structure is going to look like next, a few thousand years.
Yeah, I don't think that book's accurate. I think that book is bullshit from what I've heard so far.
Well, what other countries will be part of the American Federated region?
The American Federated region is going to be called the Peacock Federation, actually.
The Peacock Federation.
Canada is going to be a part of it, Mexico, and I do believe Alaska. And then there's going to be 21 other federated regions, as well.
Awesome.
So he basically said that star seeds and other UFO wackadoos are going to be in charge of this new one world government. I don't bet you, but I don't want wackadoos running the government. The regular government's wackadoo enough. Can't let these wackadoos run the country or the whole world, God forbid. They'll be sitting around singing Kumbaya and anal probing each other.
Okay, so let's move on. Actually, there's some great questions in the chat, but I wanted to get through my questions first because I'm almost done here on my list, and hopefully
Super
you're
Dave
still good on
Osborne
your
is
battery.
more super than this Yahoo.
About 15%. Yes, I should. 20%. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So I guess
That's
how about this
interesting,
one?
Catwoman.
Do you have any information what would happen if AI was to take over a planet?
Our planet?
The flag is the NBC
on the negative
logo.
time.
It's Peacock.
Okay,
People that are dying.
Right. In the event that the AI alters the timeline and Omega makes his appearance
He has
as the
more
Antichrist,
instead of Granny, says
which is, by
Patty
the way, AI.
Wilhelm.
All the records when they prophesied about this Antichrist,
Super
they were talking
hot.
about AI. I
Super
do
hot
believe that
here
at that
today.
point there's going to be some sort of divine
There'll be some
intervention
evidence,
where a
Grifters.
group of us,
Yes.
especially
Suffer
the ones
evidence.
that were enhanced, like yourself and myself, are going to be. So there's going to be some sort of technology that's going to turn on our DNA and turn on our abilities, and at that point, we're going to be the ones that are going to I guess pretty much save the world from this invasion if it goes into that time.
So
Yes.
last minute.
Everything's
I
already
don't
been
believe
planned
that
out by the higher ups.
aliens or
They've
inner-earth
already,
beings are real.
they've already
So
checkmated
far, no
Omega.
evidence.
In other words, Omega. There's no way Omega is going to destroy this world, because in essence, this world is the most important world in the cosmos.
But there
Imagine
are a lot
that.
of people that
That's
are
a little
checking it out right
human-centric,
now, and
right?
it looks like their souls are being captured and taken to a Earth 2.0, a clone, a copy of Earth, to continue their experiment in three-dimensional life. Do you have any information on what that Earth is like for the people that are going there, these souls?
Right. That's an alternative Earth that was actually created through CERN. CERN has always been used by the dark side, especially the negative AI. And so they create an alternative version where they're actually trying to send people into that alternative Earth that is going to ultimately be dominated by AI, where smart cities are going to be, everywhere worldwide. The Internet of Things, you're going to be talking to your wall, your stove, your microwave. It's not a good world. It's a world where you're going to literally be living in such a virtual type of digital world that you won't be able to distinguish it from what was real anymore.
Yeah, this sounds like the same fear porn that a lot of these other people buy my book,
It's going to be a further matrix than the matrix that we're already existing in. A type of matrix that is going to be impossible to exit once you're there.
So when this solar flash takes place, does that mean the
solar flash?
George Soros will still be
stolen
alive
from Wilcox.
Bill
Hopefully
Gates,
not.
George Soros, would they come along with us to the positive timeline, or would they just?
Oh no, they're going to go into the negative timeline, or if not dispersed. Yeah.
So from our perspective, they just disappear.
AI is going to take over the planet, but it will be AI.
Is that what the whole rapture thing was about in the Bible?
It's not going to be an alien AI.
Yeah. That's symbolic.
It's David Wilcock lore that there's
one person will disappear, the other person will.
Because if all those wackadoos believe David Wilcock, they're going to believe these guys using the same terminology, like a lion,
how about this guy?
solar flash.
Elon Musk, is he the savior of humanity, or is he a traitor and he goes to Darkfleet?
Ever since he began to create the Neuralace through his Neuralink company, the whole purpose of that is to merge us with technology.
You would think that they would be well ahead of us, right?
I was informed that he actually was the first one to implant the Neuralace, so he enhanced his own genetics, and he's already a cyborg. And I also was informed that he was actually compromised by the AI.
Elon Musk is a cyborg, according to this super soldier.
So him and the other tech companies are all working with the AI, which is not good.
And interesting,
especially Google. Google's leading. This whole AI thing is being led by Google itself. Some people believe that Google's already sentient.
Do you think Google's going to survive into the solar flash?
No, I think the solar flash is going to act like an EMP and destroy the entire infrastructure of AI, and it's not going to exist.
The solar flash is
in the ascending
trope.
Well, does that mean we're going to be
promising a solar flash event for 20 years?
We're going to be using a different.
Never going to happen.
We're going to be using free energy technology.
Oh,
we're going to be
energy.
Using planetary and star power.
Nonsense. Somebody's been listening to Wilcox streams.
But the grid is going to go down after the solar flash until it gets fixed.
And it's going to be replaced.
Yes, I do remember.
It's going to be replaced by a grid that's going to be operating on multidimensional realities.
I heard that the White Hats have, I don't know if it's kept in underground dumb or where the technology is, but they have ways of quickly converting it will take about 2 weeks to get the new grid back up online.
That could be a possibility. Yeah, I believe so.
What about, and this question has been coming up over and over again about med beds. Do you have any idea when that's going to be?
I knew they were going to talk about med beds. Med beds are not real. Med beds are science fiction and always a scam. We here at Truth Seekers have busted, let me see, Pete, Roxy, Arcturus Ra, Sarah R. Adams, and Randy Kramer. We busted 5 different med bed scams where people were taking money from people to put them in a med bed. And med beds are fake. They don't do what people claim, which is basically heal all that ails you. Randy Kramer was telling people that if you have a child that has Down syndrome or autism, you just put them in the med bed and it cures them. And he was raising money from people, one of whom I talked to, who was the mother of a nonverbal autistic child like mine. I am the father of a nonverbal autistic child. And for anybody that doesn't know, autism is a terrible affliction. And it's not just the child or the person who has autism that is affected. It's the entire family. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I love my son, but I hate autism. And what I hate worse than autism is somebody that scams people with false hope who have an autistic child. And that's what Randy Kramer was doing, including telling people who had children with Down syndrome, that his medbed technology could cure them of Down syndrome, right? Pug says, who was the guy spray painting old tanning beds? That was Arcturus Ra, and he glued a bunch of magnets and trash inside it, and it didn't work at all. At all.
Be coming out to the public
between now and 2024, I believe. Because
oh, this is an older interview. I think this is 2023 or 2022. He just said that med beds would be out in the public by 2024. Does anybody remember medbed technology being released and everybody on Earth being cured of cancer, mental retardation, autism, polio? I don't know. Polio is not really a thing anymore. Lou Gehrig's disease, multiple sclerosis, right? And every other thing that ails humanity. Of course it didn't happen. So here is proof positive that he's a bullshitter and a grifter. He said that the med beds would be released by 2024.
Because according to the vision that I had 15 years ago,
oh, he had a
when
vision.
I was connected to my galactic self, which oversees a mothership known as the New Jerusalem, I was able to access
Tales of the Sonic Void says not true.
Time frame.
I have a med bed in my hover
Earth
car.
was actually going to be reinstated back into the galactic community.
Bigfoot in my garage.
I was told by no later than
out for a ride and never
2024.
came back. The
we'll see what happens. We're 2 years away. I'm going to cross my fingers.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Before
I would be cured
I
of my
switch the topic, one other thing I want to mention about Elon Musk. Neuralink was based. I think that company was based out in Texas, and Monarch Solutions has a base dumb in that same area where he's working closely. It's like a subdivision.
Bigfoots are an opportunity for
so he's getting once that technology touches your physical body, the nanites contaminate it, and so
come on, there's no truth to any of this. Do you know there's already people?
So I guess in the positive time, we don't have to get nanobots injected into us to interface with.
There's no nanobots in the technology that Elon Musk is developing, but there is hope for some people who are paralyzed, deaf, blind, and more. And I know it's kind of a scary technology to interface, basically computers with a human brain, but there's some exciting possibilities that this Elon Musk related technology will be able to cure people of very crazy things like, being a paraplegic or being paralyzed, blind, deaf, and other ailments. And if you Google, you will find there's already some interesting things happening with the test subjects.
The internet and all that we can. Okay. All right.
His mom just yelled at him, shut it down. His mom, James Rink's mom, is yelling at him while he's interviewing Earth's greatest. Mom, interviewing a guy that saved a lot of universes. Shut up, Mom.
What's some information we can do to manifest the most positive timeline?
To be in the here and the now, to keep your awareness, or at least be aware of your mind every second of the day, because mindfulness is our power. It's the way we
gotta have mindfulness. This guy, of course, also sells meditation courses. It's not enough that he's Earth's galactic ambassador or Superman saving the multiverse. He's got to sell you meditation courses as well.
Co-create reality. Don't worry about the past. Don't have anxiety about the future. Focus on what you want. And always be in control of your mind.
Yeah.
Because that's how we create.
Secret. Law of attraction, man. It works.
Now we're going into some questions. I guess there was a question about crypto. Do you see crypto surviving into is that going to be the currency of the future?
Not at all. No. That was created by Sophia, the android that was developed by Hansen's Robotics. And she's part of the AI system. She's actually already connected with Google, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's also being influenced by the Red Queen all the way from Orion.
The Red Queen is from Alice in Wonderland.
Well, I was always told that Bitcoin was from an AI from our future, which had nuclear war, and it was sent back in time to try to change the timeline. But it's almost like a Trojan horse.
It is, yeah. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. I mean,
Oh,
When you think about
jeez.
the original patent number, they gave us cryptocurrency 60606. That's the mark of the beast symbolically if you read the Book of Revelation. And according to the Book of Revelation, the beast is AI.
Well, what about XRP and XLM? I know there's a lot of people in the truther community are pushing that.
I think
ahead.
that's the only thing that is probably not associated with the AI system, because that's connected to QFS.
What
And
the
that's going
hell
to
is
be the new,
QFS?
I guess, quantum system, financial quantum system that is going to replace the current system. So I think that XRP is probably okay. I don't think that's related to the AI crypto.
All right.
Did they mix in
let's
enough
get down here
Q-Tard
near the
stuff
end of the
yet?
list. What are some of the future projects you want to work on?
10 more minutes.
I'm currently in the process of writing my third book, which is going to explore the entire cosmic war against Omega from the beginning of time, where he was originally developed in the 11th
War?
creation, because our Earth
He
and our
really is
local universe
jumping
is part of the
around.
12th creation. And then I'm gonna, hopefully be teaching. Well, I just started teaching
Nuclear.
online courses that give an in-depth,
Nuclear war.
I guess, description of galactic history and cosmic
Not the
information,
White
as well
Knight.
as providing
Yeah.
people with tools and methods to actually activate their multidimensional
Is
selves.
there a sci-fi movie they
As
haven't
to why I was
referenced?
able to,
Oh, they mixed them
access
all up pretty
galactic
good.
information on my own.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching this stuff online now. So yeah, that's my plan. My plan is
Yeah, he's selling courses on how to activate your super soldiers' ultra powers.
to help bring disclosure as much as I can, and also to aid the Stargates in their memories and their mission and purpose as to why we came to this Earth at this time.
Oh, he's here to help the starseeds. For those unaware, starseeds are people who believe that they were sent here into a human body, but they're actually an alien soul or spirit. And there's an awful lot of people that believe that. We're going to do a show on starseeds. There's some wackadoos out there. Maybe I'll even interview one. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Excellent. So let's just go ahead. And do you have time to take a few questions from the audience members?
Just a couple more questions.
Okay.
I do have to get going in a bit. Sorry.
All right. So audience members, go ahead.
Yeah, he's got to go save the universe. Don't
good
put too
questions
long,
out there.
James Rink.
Well, maybe I'll just go ahead and pick one here. Here's one from G. When is the Earth Alliance EBS military martial law? Do you have any idea?
Heaven's Gate people.
I feel that it's coming soon, but I do know that it's going to happen between now and 2024 for sure. But I also believe
martial law. Earth Alliance EBS military martial law. When is it coming? By 2024. I guess we missed that too. More proof that this guy is a bullshitting scam artist grifter. He has no secret insider information. He's just mining comic books for stories to tell morons on the internet and sell books to morons.
I believe that it's best to be prepared. It could happen in July. It could happen in August.
He's stealing Laura's
I've heard
stuff now.
a year ago that the summer of 2022, in the summer of 2022, that something big would happen that would alter the course of history for the betterment.
Well,
this really must be
according
an
to the
older
Guardians of
interview.
the Looking Glass, they say crypto is going to crash. Bitcoin, even XRP and XLM.
Bitcoin didn't
and
crash.
Then that's because the Tether coins are connected to Evergrande bonds in China. So once people realize Tether coins are worthless, it's going to freak people out.
Of course, they put drawings in because they don't have any real pictures.
Exchanges are going to go bankrupt, and then nobody's going to be out. Yeah, and once that happens, it will start triggering cascades, chain reactions in currency. The dollar will crash, and then
the dollar didn't crash.
The stock market will be next.
None of this happens because this is fiction.
Do you see it getting like really, really bad? Like everything gets wiped out before we get reset, or do you think they're going to do a soft landing?
The way I understand is that they're going to make
two for the price of one.
The transition as
James Rink is a huge wackadoo as well.
There's not that many casualties or people suffering.
Well, that's good
from
news.
The crash, but yeah, the stock market, that's definitely coming to a crash. The entire economy is coming to a collapse. So just be prepared. Have at least 2 weeks of storage of food and water.
Oh, have we heard that before? 2 weeks of food and water storage. David Wilcox has been stealing
Okay,
David
we can throw
Wolf.
this question here. Radiant Glory and Guardian ships. Why don't you describe what they actually look like? How big are they? And
Yeah, describe
and
the
their shapes,
fictional
colors.
spaceships to us, please.
Well, the biggest ones we had were actually the sizes of like 10 football fields long, and they almost look like cigar ships. A lot of them are very light. Some of them are darker, but they're huge, like huge cigar ships that are like 10 football fields across.
Can you show us a spaceship?
Other motherships that we've had
Can you
are
show us a
actually,
mothership?
Planetoids. They're considered bioships, where they could actually where people are many different extraterrestrials are actually inhabiting these bioships, and those are huge. Some of them are as big as Pluto and stuff. Some of the smaller craft that I remember was just this. Again, it reminds me of the Halo video game, where we're in this craft.
It reminds him of the Halo video game because that's where he got this bullshit from.
Is like where we're like strapped and we're getting ready to deploy to go somewhere and stuff, and it's anti-gravity aircraft, as far as like how it looks
set
on the
another
outside,
all-time high.
I have no clue.
Exactly,
because
no
all I remember
crash.
was just going through
Totally
portals,
wrong.
and then coming out of the craft,
Just
we're going
3
through a
days of
portal
darkness
as well. So that was kind of interesting.
Here we go. Somebody wants to know, will we be able to buy a spaceship
That
and go
sounds
explore
awesome.
after
Tales of the
disclosure
Sonic
takes
Voyage.
place?
Yes.
Most definitely, yes. I believe so.
Even if your health
He
is
traveled
absolutely
to
trashed.
space
Let's say you are
in
a
thousands
75-year-old
of
woman
universes.
with
He
diabetes
saved the whole
and you're overweight
multiverse.
and you have no energy, chronic fatigue. You'll be able to have a med bed and you'll be able to be regenerated back to 21 or probably better 28. Then down to 21, and then you can go into Space Force and serve your.
Does Rick really believe this bullshit? Really?
Yeah. And that's what's going to happen, once disclosure
Everybody's
going to
get healed. Yeah, don't worry about diet and exercise. Just get in a med bed.
Earthlings are going to go up and serve within the Federation fleets. So it's going to be beautiful.
John Master asks, when will the Galactic Federation help America get out of this corrupted mess? First of all, do you think the Galactic Federation even cares, or is it the Intergalactic League of Nations? Is that who's in charge?
Well, we have different federations. Some of them have been compromised, but the Galactic Federation of Worlds is the accurate one.
Galactic
those
Federation.
Are the ones that are working for the benefit.
Did you have that on your bingo
the
card?
Intergalactic Federation of Councils, the Super Federation, as well as the Universal Council, which comprise of members from many universes, are all good. And so right now we're receiving support and help from like the entire
Jasper
multiverse.
Chu is from the planet.
Which is awesome. Yeah, it's everyone is helping to secure the ascending positive timeline, because what happens here is going to have repercussions, going forward into the future and in the past all at once.
Does the medbed cure chronic?
Definitely.
Yes, it cures
we'll make
everything.
this the last question for the audience. Is
Sure.
there a
Allegedly.
Federation of Planets like in Star Trek?
Yeah, it does.
Will there be? It might not. It may not have happened yet.
Well, the Galactic Federation of Worlds has existed for 6 million years just within our galaxy. Every galaxy that has human-like
6 million years
beings has a Galactic Federation. But as far as the Earth creating their own interplanetary federation of planets, I think that within the private sector, we're already part of the Interplanetary Federation, or some sort of confederation, where we are aligned with the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, the positive ETs from Sirius, the positive ETs from the different solar systems.
Again, he's pulling from established UFO mythology. All these alien races, there's no evidence of any of them. But if you listen to some of these wackadoos, they'll tell you about all these different alien races from all these different star systems. And it is interesting how many people just repeat this stuff as if it's factual because they read it in a book.
And so on and so forth, yeah.
All right, so let's end this with how can people contact you or learn more?
So
here's the pitch.
Constantly posting information,
buy my shit. Here's the pitch, friends.
Galactic intel and stuff like that.
Oh, he's revealing Galactic intel.
All one word. You could order a book or Cosmic Origin. It gives you a very good description of Earth's real history.
Every day is a grip for these two.
History and
they met at the
Citadel.
Citadel.
The cosmic history of our universe as well. and how
Fucking
our universe is
grifters,
part of a
man.
greater cosmic body known as the central motherverse.
How do council members from
And
other
much more.
multiple universes
It's also
meet?
an
They use
integration
Stargate or
of
some
cutting edge
shit. I
science
don't
through quantum
know. I
physics
didn't
and
make this
ancient
shit up.
metaphysical
He did.
studies, all put into one book. So it's a book that kind of gives you an explanation of where we came, how we ended up here, and where we're going. So it answers all these questions. Also,
Oh yeah, I
teaching
want
online course and
answers
selling
from
out
a
book
guy
all the
who
way through
thinks he's
September.
fucking
So
Superman for real.
if you want to take my online course,
Save
you
the
could actually,
multiverse.
book your place in it now before it gets,
Yeah, buy my
filled up.
course. Buy
Like
my
within the next
book.
week, they're filling up quick, which is a good thing,
How
because that
dumb
means
do
that
you have to
there's a
be
lot of
to sign
starseeds
up for
out there
this
who are
guy's
interested
bull
in learning this stuff
and
and
give
learning how
him
to access
money
their
for
government.
this
So,
level of nonsense?
so
It's such
if it's okay with you,
nonsense.
James, I could give you a link to the course, for your viewers. Okay, cool.
In the description.
Thank you. You're
All
welcome.
right. Yeah, well, thank you, Ismael, for coming on here, and let's see, we can maybe try to get you on again. Go more into some more of the technology, or maybe even it's the missions you had, because I know this is more like an overview, and it'd be kind of cool if we can hear.
Yeah, we want to hear
some
about the
funny
mission
stories
to save the
and some missions.
multiverse.
But
Okay.
audience members, thank you all for joining us. We had a great participation here tonight. I think we can probably keep this up on YouTube. But I also want to mention, audience members, be sure to go to my website,
Yeah.
neologicaltech.com.
Buy
and
his
get a
book,
copy of my
too.
book. I also have some
They're
meditation
both
foods
selling
on
their
there, which
grifty
can help
books.
you meditate and relax. And
Yeah, I want to learn to
think,
meditate from
Ismael,
this
you actually
guy.
have a copy of my book. So
I think it's probably
hopefully
$300.
you like it.
We'll find out, Troll.
But I do want to copy your book. You know what? Maybe I'll do that right after I get off the show here. But yeah, so there you all have it. Thank you all for listening in. Any other final comments?
Just know that we won the war. The victory is ours. So it's time to celebrate.
All right. Well, we'll see you all later. Bye, everyone.
Oh boy, we made it! We made it through the Wackadoo of the week. What a fucking wackadoo this guy was! What a wackadoo! But interestingly, somebody asked about his courses and how much it costs. So this is his services, right? Ascension Basics. Oh, David Wilcock is going to be mad. He's selling an Ascension course for $100. Our Cosmic Origins with Ismael Perez is $100. Ascension 2.0 is $100. What's that about? Elevate your spiritual understanding with Ascension 2.0 from Ismael Perez, exclusively available at Our Cosmic Origin. Advanced online course offers a deep dive into the concept of ascension for those already familiar with the practice. Perfect for advanced, awoken, seeking to unlock new levels of consciousness and spiritual growth. Dive into the transformative experience and elevate your spiritual practice with Our Cosmic Origin today. This service is fully booked. Guy must be popular. Let's go to the shop, see what other shit he's selling. Oh, look, Galactic Jedis. He sells a course in Galactic Jedis, how you too can become a Galactic Jedi. I mean, shouldn't you be paying a royalty to George Lucas or Lucasfilm or Disney for using the term Jedi? Join the class. These are the 3 classes. Let's go back to the shop. What else is he selling? Our Cosmic Journal, $20. Cosmic T-shirt, $17.83. Cosmic mug. It's so cool that the guy spent all that time saving the multiverse and 80,000 universes, but he'll also sell you a mug for $7. Yes, it is a slop shop. That is right. This is a slop shop right here. This is a slop shop. That's the perfect term for it. He's selling his slop shit. Yeah. Let's go to the home, see if we get an about page. Our mission is to shine light on the intricate dance of cosmic wisdom and individual enlightenment, weaving together a community of minds eager to explore the vastness of interconnected cosmos. I strive to kindle the flames of discovery and unity. guiding souls towards their unique odyssey. This guy's preying on vulnerable people that are lost, right? Lost souls and damaged. I'm sure I've already heard from some of his damaged, what I call damaged disciple. Richard Warner says, I think I lost about half my brain through this. Yes, I did. Galactic slop bucket. Oh, that's so stupid. Yes, so we've made it through another wackadoo of the week, my friends. Boy, that was something else, right? That was. He's got more powers than Superman, the X-Men, and Dr. Midnight all combined. That's one of those things. We want to take a moment to thank you, kind and generous benefactors, you Patreon supporters, you YouTube channel members, you people gifting subs on Kick or gifting YouTube channel memberships. We want to thank you people subscribing on Kick or becoming a YouTube channel member on YouTube. You people buying me a coffee, sending PayPal pledges and or super chats, super stickers, super thanks. Did you know that? You can hit the thanks button and throw a couple bucks in our hat and keep us doing this, such as it is. And we appreciate your kindness, generosity, and support. Spiritual Ascension says, and I have not verified this. This is a comment from one of our live viewers. Ismael Perez recently left his sick wife to pursue a relationship with one of his viewers, who has now become his handler, Monica Kangliowski. He is a huge plant and grifter. Couldn't agree more with that part of it. I don't know about him leaving his sick wife or any of that. So we. Rumors and speculation, take from that what you will. I have not confirmed that as fact. I'm not stating that as a factual statement. It's a comment from one of our live viewers. Charles McDonald gifted a True Seekers membership. This, my friends, is why you have to hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Because, my friends, if you're in the live chat during a live broadcast and a kind and generous soul like Charles McDonald gifts a membership, you could win one, but you must be a subscriber and not yet a YouTube channel member. And Dave B received a gifted membership by Charles McDonald. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Much, much appreciated. Charles McDonald is a longtime show supporter and a big supporter, and we appreciate that support. Thank you, Charles McDonald, for appreciating us. We definitely appreciate you as well.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
And the biggest super chat of the night, praise the cash. Urban Terror says, I like to pay for internet content based on old R Gang Little Rascals comedy short title worth a watch. Pay as you exit. You held out for the whole time, so you could be the hero at the end, like Darkside Phil says. Thanks, Stephen, for continuing to vet these meatheads out. The world needs humans like you. Well, that is very, very kind and generous of you. So we'll give you the big praise the cash. Thank you. Praise the cash. And thanks all of you for the support this evening.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Much, much appreciated. Very kind of you, Urban Terra. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. You are the hero at the end of the stream. Thank you very much, all of you. So I will be back sometime this weekend. And people are asking me about the Internet Insanity Circus release date. Well, I have some great news, and that is that we now have. I'm waiting on hearing from the possible co-hosts. I have asked, I don't know how many people so far. So far, we have two young ladies who will be co-hosts. But that's it. And I've asked more than that. Some people haven't gotten back to me. Some people are too busy and declined the offer. I believe that the first couple of episodes of the new show, Internet Insanity Circuits, which, by the way, will be kick only and be really crazy. You're going to love it. I will host myself. And then we're going to rotate guest co-hosts in and out. And I'm waiting to hear back on some of the others who I have asked. Now, somebody sent me an email and said, "Oh, can I be a co-host?" And I just want to make it very clear that if I'm going to offer you even a guest co-host slot, considering I have worked so hard on developing this show, you have to bring something to the table. So if you're a brand new content creator with 100 subscribers, I'm not really interested in, giving you that spot. I need co-hosts that have a decent following, say, I don't know, 5 or 10,000 subscribers on their own, because I'm hoping that the co-host will bring some of their audience and I'll bring mine, and we'll have a good crowd between the two of us. So, my thanks to others that have volunteered or asked about being a part of that. Maybe further down the line, after we get an audience, I would just, let people come and volunteer or whatever. But if you have a decent following, interested in co-hosting a really crazy internet live stream show that's very well produced, and will have magic guests and music guests and illusionist guests and really great stuff, you can email me at trueseekershow@gmail.com. Haha, Spiritual Ascension says anyone who was a long-term watcher of his show was quickly blocked when they called him out a grift machine he is. Foxy G is here and says, I'm very late for the wackadooing. Wackadooing is a verb, after all. He says he is connected to Valiant Thor for his galactic information, laughing my ass off, and that he is part of the White Hats and gets a lot of his intel from them, too. He doesn't have any intel. He's a grifter, Spiritual Ascension, but thank you for pointing that out. This sounds like a DSP ploy here. For the co-hosts, yeah. I'm not ungrateful when somebody offers to be a co-host, but you really need a following, because if you just show up and do the co-host job, even if you do a good job, you're not really I need the reason for the co-host is to double the audience, hopefully. So in other words, like, for example, we definitely have links formerly from Locale Queens. She's got a pretty decent following of her own, and they're all going to come to the show to see her be the co-host. I need people that have a significant presence already as a content creator. I've reached out to a few interesting people. We'll see what happens. And no, I will not ask Ethan Ralph or Review Tech or Wings or any of those. No. And I'd really like to just have mostly, I think, female co-hosts, because I think that would be a more interesting dynamic than two dudes. And also, quite frankly, it's an 85% male audience. So I think that the primarily male audience may respond better to female co-hosts. So, there's that. So people have asked me about the debut date. I said I will announce it this week. It's going to be sometime in August, and I think the beginning of August. It may be as early as Saturday, August 2nd. And for those that have asked, the new show will be kick only, and it will be on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be giving away my Saturday night to get this show to work, because I am fairly confident that we'll have a better, bigger crowd on a Saturday night than we will. But then, I don't know, I'm 50-50. Half of me says we'll have a better, bigger crowd on Saturday night. But then the other half of me thinks, well, a lot of people go out on Saturday night. They're not home to watch it. Page 5 Watch Party says she's crazy. Get Becky from Locale Queens. That girl ate cat food. I don't know. You ain't female co-host. You ain't slick, Steve. And somebody said links. Tales of Sonic Voyage says she's great. Giving false hope to the ones in real need, says Catwoman. She's talking about Ismael. The med beds are coming. Your superhuman abilities will be activated. Someone had to call him out on his BS. Well, we do it here as well. These people promise the hopeless false hope. That's what they do. They prey on vulnerable people, exactly like David Wilcock or many other people. They're promising people a new, better reality is coming very, very soon, right? What is a med bed? It's a mystical device that it's like a pod that you lay in and it cures you of everything. You can regrow limbs if you're mentally retarded. I don't like that word. I don't know a better word for it at the moment. That it'll cure you of that. If you have autism, cancer, it'll cure you of that. If you're paralyzed, it'll cure you of that. And this is the claims that people make, all false claims. They're not real. They're science fiction. Kids who watch stuff on Kick will be home and will enjoy a puppet show. Yeah, and I will tease the circus by showing you one of the puppets. We have a great deal of foul-mouthed puppets that will be part of the show. Let's see here. I want to find the foul-mouthed one. And we've also got a Dark Side Phil puppet that will be begging for money the whole time the show is going, right? He'll be begging, friends. Begging, begging, begging. All right, I will share this. I will share this before we go and do my due diligence to promote the new Kick.com show, which is called the Internet Insanity Circus. And I feel very uncomfortable. Like, I can't do the preaching thing like PPP, right? And I've always felt uncomfortable like asking for the support and the money. So I decided that I'm just going to have the puppets beg and then I don't have to, right? I think that's a pretty decent idea and a pretty good plan. So here's one of the begging puppets and he's very mean to brokies.
Welcome to the Internet Insanity Circus. Welcome to the Internet Insanity Circus. I just wanted to remind you that this show is viewer supported, so all you broke motherfuckers can fuck off. But hey, all you fine, upstanding citizens with cash, get out your wallets. It's time to praise the cash, bitches. So don't be shy.
Get out your wallet.
Give big and give often. We need some support bombs right now, motherfuckers. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank the dollar almighty. Let's get some support and praise the cash, bitches. Welcome to the Internet Insanity
So there
Circus.
you have it. Yeah. We'll do one more. We'll do one more of the foul-mouthed puppets. And, one of them has got to be not foul-mouthed, however, because my son really wants to be one of the puppeteers, and I want to encourage him and teach him a little bit about that as an art form and illusions and things. So one of those has got to be not foul-mouthed, but most of them are foul-mouthed. All right, we'll do this one as well before we bounce on out of here. And I really think if I could get my shit together, we're going to start the first Saturday in August at 8 p.m.
Welcome to the Internet Insanity Circus, my friends. I just wanted to remind you that the Internet Insanity Circus is a viewer-supported show. That's right. It's time to praise the cash and dig deep into your heart and even deeper into your wallet. Our show host will thank every supporter live on air. We need your support to keep the circus alive, so let's go. It's time to drop some dono bombs and stand up and be counted and recognized as a big show supporter. So get out your wallet, smash that subscribe or gift a sub button below our video and support the show. If you have never donated, you may have to edit your credit or debit card information one time. After that, you can send us some subs and help us praise the cash whenever you want. Praise the cash, friends, and God bless the goal. Let's get some new subscribers. Let's get some gifted subs so we can keep the show going. Let's go! It's time to praise the cash, motherfuckers.
I'm, I really like it. I like it because then I don't have to feel like a DSP style beggar, right? And I can still remind. We're not going to play a whole bunch of them, right? Get the SP on again to negotiate your restreamer fee, right? And Richard Warner says, your son has a good father. Yeah, I try, I was blessed. My father and I didn't get along very well later in his life. Unfortunately, he died very young at 52. And I regret a lot of things. Like we just didn't get along when I got older, when I was kind of a teenager and stuff. But looking back, hindsight is always 2020, and I realize now that I was very blessed. My father was very hard on me, but it came from a place of like love, like he was hard on me because he wanted me to grow up to be a good man, So he was very hard on me, I thought at the time. But looking back, I realized he was a very good dad, and I try to be good to my children and be as good a father as I can. It's the most important thing to me is to like not screw that up. That and be a good husband. Because if you're a good husband and a good father, I think you'll have a pretty good life. Things will just work out, right? Yeah, so we have done our due diligence, and I'm going to bounce on out of here. We're going to leave you with a music track from the one, the only Simon Fly. This one's about Skinwalker Ranch, my friends. So I'm not sure when I'll be back. Be sure to follow me on X or Twitter. It's at Stephen Cambion. You can follow me on Facebook. It's Stephen Cambion as well. Visit our website, truthseekershow.com. From there, you can get all of our latest episodes, whether you want the audio or video version. They're all there. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you. All right, that one didn't work. I don't know what happened. Let's try that again. We'll use a different one. It features still by Simon Fly. Oh, no. We'll play the whistleblower one because I think this is funny. Remember that this guy that we covered tonight claims to be a whistleblower from the secret space program. What a bunch of nonsense. So that's all I got for you. Good night, and God bless all of you.
Whistleblowers are stories to tell. Fake whistleblowers are stories to sell. Fake whistleblowers are stories to tell. Fake whistleblowers are stories to sell. By my story, forgetting my deceit. By my story, deception complete. By my story, forget all my lies. By my story, open your eyes. Fake whistleblowers are stories to tell. Fake whistleblowers are stories to sell. Fake whistleblowers are stories to tell. Fake whistleblowers are stories to sell. By my story, lies. By my story, forget my default. By my story, deception complete. By my story, forget all my lies. By my story, open your eyes. Fake whistleblowers are stories to tell. Fake whistleblowers are stories to sell. Fake whistleblowers are stories to tell. Fake whistleblowers are stories to sell. By my story, click and be schooled. By my story, don't you ever doubt. By my story, now there's no way out. Fake whistleblowers are stories to